Hello, hello. This is the GRcade Twitchcast, and today it's myself and you're going to be going by Corazon de Leon from now on, or you're going to go by the Twitch handle of Retro Cora.
Call me whatever you want at this point. I've been doxed that many times, you might as well call me Ben.
Okay, I will still call you Cora. Because there's, I think about the issue with people on GRcade in general is half the people are like I'd say 40% of the people are Ben, 40% of people are James, and then the other 20% are all different names.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like I've never been on a place that has that many Bens in it before. It's bizarre.
Shocking. To be fair. Anyway, right. So yeah, this is I think it's like the 36th episode. And basically, I was hoping tonight that we could get a load of us together to do some chatting and stuff, and maybe do some other shit. But as it's just me and you, we may as well talk about the fun we've had this year in the games we've played. Wonderful, fun gaming times.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I would be excited, but I'm saying, oh yeah, we'll do this. We'll we'll talk about some of the great games that have come out this year that we've played, and then I'm thinking, how many games this year that have come out have I actually played? Because while I do play newer games, there's so many games I have a backlog with. I'm still playing older games more than I am newer games.
Kind of the same, but I think this year I've played more. More new releases than the last 8 or 9 years put together.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, whenever I've seen you streaming, you've been mainly streaming Rock Band or Twitch Sings.
Yeah.
Or Resi.
I just love a karaoke.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you can sing. If you can't sing, then there is something wrong with the karaoke because you make other people's ears bleed.
I'm okay with making other people's ears bleed, to be honest with you.
But you can sing. That's the thing.
I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not sure I agree with you.
Well, you can definitely sing better than anyone I've heard out of the people I've watched on Twitch Sings, like from GRcade or like Jeff and so on and so forth. Out of the smallish community on Twitch that there is, which is obviously expanding now. You know what I mean, like.
Do not diss Jeffy's singing. He serenaded me to the tune of Aladdin last week, and it was glorious.
Jeff and myself, I think our very first duet was Aladdin.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Our very first duet was, I can't remember the fucking name of the song, but I could show you the world. That one.
I know the one. I know it very well.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. That one, what's it called?
A whole new world.
Yeah, whole new world. For some reason, we thought we'll do that, and then we did other stuff, and then he made us do some other song, and it had like scat in there and stuff, and I was like, I don't know this song, and it was just awful.
That sounds incredible.
It was goddamn awful, but That's just the way it is, isn't it, When people are going, like, sing this song. And you're like, okay, I'll sing this song. The worst was when I did my last Twitch Sing stream the other day. I sang all these songs, and then I did My Way to End. And I sang it, and I thought, wow, that was actually probably the best I've sung all day. I can't sing, but I think I did well on that. I found out after it, my mic was muted for the entire song, and no one said anything. It was like quite a lot of people there, and I was like, why didn't anyone say my mic was muted?
Oh no. That is the worst, man.
Yeah. I was well disappointed. My missus just laughed at me when I told her. She means it.
That's mean.
It wasn't. I can't remember what it was called. I would look it up, but I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to like load up another browser and see if I uploaded it to YouTube, which is unlikely. It wouldn't have been on the GRcade because it was on mine. Yeah, oh well. Hi, Graham. Why don't you join us for the Twitchcast? You can chat with us.
Yeah, pop in.
Come in,
Pop
tell us how
bro.
your year has been. Get drunk. I ain't. Cora might.
No, I'll see how I feel.
I don't drink really. I've got I decided to grab beer 52. I know this is a games podcast, but we're just talking shit. It's the end of the year. We're just having fun. I grabbed beer 52 stuff. I thought, oh, it's free crate. I'll give it a try. So I grabbed it. I drank the first crate over a month because there's only 10 beers in it, so it's not a lot. And I think I've got 4 or 5 crates now where they've just backed up because I just don't drink very much at all.
No, I'm kind of the same. Like I've got a drawer full of like assorted cans of beer that people have left at my flat, and then obviously nobody's been in my flat for 9 months, so it's just like that should tell you how little I drink. That I've still got most of that there. But I've just finished up for Christmas, so I feel like some kind of celebration should be or is appropriate.
So eat a Scotch egg.
A Scotch egg.
If you don't like whiskey, you can't have Scotch. Have a Scotch egg.
No, fair enough.
It won't get you drunk, but Scottish, I guess.
It'll be bloody lovely.
Graham is asking, Cora, have you eaten all of fudge and sausage rolls?
We sent a care package of fudge and sausage rolls to my mum specifically to stop that from happening. Because I was going to get fatter, so we fired that through. We cut up all the fudge and most of the sausage rolls and sent them through. Or I kind of dropped them at my mum's door on Saturday morning. But they were bloody lovely.
Sounds I'm not a massive sausage roll fan. Say, are you? Like I've never made them myself, so obviously when you do yourself, you can put whatever sausage you want in the fucking pastry, you can't. But like short bought ones, I don't like them. Yeah, but I like a corned beef pasty, but I don't like a sausage roll.
I'm not a like savoury pastry man. But I really enjoyed the ones that we made on Saturday. They were bloody brilliant.
Sounds nice. I haven't long had steak and stuff, so I'm alright for now for food.
Fair enough. I've just had a massive bowl of spaghetti bolognese, so I can't even really think about food.
Will you be making stories for Hogmanay?
Hogmanay.
This is what Grum is asking. I'm just reading.
Aye, I kind of figured. It's I love other people's attempts to pronounce it because it you should, like, when you read it, it should say Hogmanay, but it's Hogmanay.
Hogmanay. Okay.
Hogmanay. I have not thought about it, but I'm sure a strong case can be made for stovies. She doesn't have them. Jim Jam doesn't have them on the blog yet, so I am absolutely sure that she'll be interested in making them. And stovies are bloody lovely as well. I think she's got a steak pie on the go for New Year's Day.
Is Jim Jam okay, first and foremost?
Yes. She had a COVID test on Wednesday or Thursday, but it came back negative, and she's all fine. Much better.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, all good.
Good to know. I think we all need a Jim Jam in our lives. Well, that's a bit much, Graham. Tried to steal Cora's wife.
You can have her.
I hope she's not listening to that.
No, she's out of the shop just now, so I can get away with saying these things.
I remember before, I may have said it before, my missus used to do cookies, but she got a recipe, we found that she made them, and we really like this is going back, 12 or so years ago, probably longer, probably about 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, and she'd make a batch of cookies, and you'd get like 40, 50 cookies, and they were big cookies. Like proper, double chocolate chip cookies, and they were stunning. The issue we had is my friend would visit. We would then have to hide most of the cookies in a tub and hide them around somewhere in the house. Because when he came there, he would literally sit down and just eat every single one of them before anyone else had a chance.
That is frightening.
He's just like, dude, Where's my cookies gone? Oh. That was really nice. For fuck's sake. There's loads.
Oh, man. That's frightening.
Bastard. Oh, well. Unfortunately, we lost our recipe. I'm just disappointed because I fucking loved them.
I'm not surprised.
She probably intentionally lost this. She didn't make cookies so that we couldn't eat them. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anywho, I wasn't really sure what to be talking about in general now because there's less of us than I had planned. I was hoping, like I said, hoping to be more of us so I could look into like doing some kind of like quiz of like some shit which involved gaming and stuff. But is there anything in particular you would like to speak about, or would you like to just talk about some of the games you've played this year that you've really, really enjoyed?
I think that might be an idea. Can I go through some games, best and worst stories of 2020, possibly? Like, if you've got any thoughts on the kind of best and worst gaming events.
Gaming events? What do you mean, like
just
the games or the events themselves? Or like PS5 launch reveal and
stuff like that. News stories that have caught your eye for good or for bad over the course of the.
The most obvious one is Cyberpunk 2077 and how good it launched for 2 minutes before everyone realised how shit it became.
It was an incredible launch, and I don't think anyone can argue that.
No.
It was just incredible for every single wrong reason that it's possible to be incredible for.
Yeah, the thing is it needed to be delayed longer, obviously. The issue you have is obviously all like the death threats and all that, but from the sounds of it, they've delayed it twice already. They've had the death threats and they've just carried on anyway. It was a lot of crunch. Supposedly, it was implied that it was just at the end of the thing, but it's happened at least 2 more times or 2 or 3 more times, so there's been quite a lot of crunch during now. Sometimes when they were doing 100-hour weeks.
Yeah. So the 100-hour week thing was frightening as well. Like, mandatory 6-day working weeks. Like that's what 18-hour shifts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's fucking insane. That
it's. I think the biggest issue is it's all come out now with all these issues, the bad practices at the company when it comes to this game. I like obviously there was issues with. Trans, not so much, I don't think it was transphobia, but it was the portrayal of trans people in the game. I don't know if that would be classed as transphobia because I'm not trans. I don't, like, it doesn't offend me like it might offend trans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, some of the kind of, I think some of the ways they were going about it in the first, like, in the opening few months when it was first revealed and stuff like that. I remember it even as someone who, as you say, is not really affected or impacted by this and at the time hadn't really gone about researching it at all. Like, it seemed crass to me then, and looking back to it now, it's just like, ooh, that's not great. And it's only kind of got worse from there as well. It's not great at all.
And the funny thing is, like, I've been watching a lot of Jimquisition stuff lately.
Yeah.
Because I find it interesting. But one of the points he brings up in his videos is like, you have all this, like, say, these issues with the game developers, like making the teams work ridiculous hours. That kind of thing. You have people criticizing like some kind of transphobia or issues with the game. You have people basically complaining about actual issues than real life issues. But then you have everyone defending it. You have so many people defending, saying, yeah, but it's part of the blah, blah, blah. It's part of the game. It's part of the process, blah, 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 blah. It's not like that. But then you have, when a game comes out and there's a lot of bugs, then it's an issue for everyone. And it's like, so you care more about a game not running well than you do every other fucking issue. It doesn't sit right, really, does it, you know? when you think about it in those simple terms of game more important than people, it's not right.
No, it's not, and it's wonky. It's really, really wonky. The whole kind of attitude of Cyberpunk fans over the past 6 or 7 months has just been, like, not Cyberpunk fans, that's the wrong way of putting it, but like the kind of hardcore of death threats and whatnot. It's been so strange to watch. Strange to watch.
The issue you have is, again, is you see this kind of thing time and time and time again with different games.
Yeah.
I was in a thread before, and I think it was Fortech who posted, the gaming community is scum. Like, obviously, doesn't mean everyone who plays games is a bad person, but I posted but it's like, you got this issue with every community, and you have, but like some of the stuff I've seen like fairly recently, I'm thinking, Fortech was fucking right.
I mean, it's not often I'll give Fortech the credit of being right, but I think in this case, I can't argue with them at all.
The thing is, it seems to be, like with a lot of things, a loud minority. I'm assuming that's what it still is, but you never know. Like I was watching, like I said, Jimquisition, and he was saying, a woman who complained, who said the game gave her epileptic seizures because CG Projekt actually put in the thing that actually would give people seizures. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it seems like instead of patch it out or something.
This was difficult to put something like that in and not have it be intentional, is it? Yeah,
exactly. But people were sending her fucking stuff, like pretending it was like thank you, no, thank you, like I hope you do okay kind of thing. But then it would be a thing they were trying to give her seizures, and it's like, what is wrong with people?
It's like literal murder.
It's like, exactly
literal attempted murder.
Exactly. It's just shocking. There's no way around it. I can't see. Obviously, everyone would rather people work a way of not being like this, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen, unfortunately, because people, for some reason, they dig their heels in, and it's like, no, I'm standing by my position without changing their mind on anything.
Yeah.
And it's strange when it's strange when it's like, right, I'm gonna defend this company that gives zero shits about me and defend them with everything I can, and it's like, they're just trying to sell you games. Just
yeah, it's like, calm
use
down,
your fucking brain. I don't know. There are people who have had this debate, right, or said things like about this who can articulate it a lot better than me. But I just think it's fucked up how people get over things.
It really is. The Cyberpunk thing is just kind of, it's just kind of shone another light on all the madness and nonsense that goes around. Like the biggest, most hyped releases. Sometimes it's just been, it's been quite horrible to watch. Do you know that? It's been quite, it's just not been fun to watch at all. And it makes me feel kind of bad to call myself a gamer, because you don't want to be associated with that at all. Like, yeah, it's not nice. Not nice at all.
No, you do. It's like, with me as well, I was never really into the whole, this is better than that. Like, I know when you're younger, it's different when you're younger. You get a certain console, it's what you play, it's what you have. You've got you kind of get an attachment to that hardware, like, so to speak.
Yeah. When
you're a child, it's different. Your brain is different when you're a child. And because I both had Sega and Nintendo growing up, I had the NES, the Master System, the Mega Drive, the SNES. I never really got into those kind of conflicts, which was bad because I could play both whenever I wanted. But like, I know in my school, it was like, which is best, Sega or Nintendo? And for me, it was like, okay. But the issue is when you still have that mentality at 30, 40, 20 is fucking bad enough. But you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, it's like a schoolyard mentality. You see it with football fans. This weird fucking tribalism. Like, this team is the best team. They can do no wrong. their management team can do no wrong, their boardroom staff can do no wrong, even though they're just the same as all the other boardrooms and everything like that. It's that inability to turn around and criticise.
One thing I don't get with football, or like a lot of sports, like for example, a team will lose a lot of games and they'll get rid of the manager. A new manager will come in who they think is better and the team still do badly, and they keep firing the manager. At what point do they say, right, it's not the manager, it's something else? Yeah. So it always seems to be down to the manager. It's always the manager's fault. Either the manager or the coach. Manager, I think.
Either or. Like, it both works.
So, like, at what point do they turn around and say, right, it's clearly the team. The team clearly aren't gelling well. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jenuall's popped up in the chat.
Oh, well, Jenuall better jump in. That's fine. When he's ready. If he's able to, obviously. But yeah, at what point do people turn around and say, right, it's clearly something up with the team, not the manager?
Well, exactly. It's like there's a problem with the whole culture as well. Like there's just all kinds of. I'm kind of losing the thread, but there's just all kinds of issues. And the thing with Cyberpunk, I think Ubel kind of has picked up on it. I don't think it's the team themselves here. I think it is management.
No, it is. It's definitely management. It's definitely management. There was a thing that I saw that the management had a discussion with the devs after launch, and like one of the questions is, why did you say the game was playable in January when the game wasn't? Why did you tell people this? And they say, and they apologized for that. And another question was, I can't remember what it was. It was something along the lines of, why are we making this game about like? I can't remember. I wish I remember what it was. My brain is shit. Who wants to swap brains? Wants to swap brains for a good brain?
I don't think you want my brain. My brain is like wired wrongly. I forget things. I forget what I'm saying half the time.
Yeah. But hello.
Hi, Jen. How you doing, man?
Are we moaning about Cyberpunk at the moment? Or?
We are.
Brilliant.
I've seen some phenomenal Twitter posts from you in the past couple of days.
Yeah, the tip of the iceberg. That is. I've got every playing it on PC, and I've got the capture the last 20 minutes set up as a hotkey on my keyboard, and I just like every 2 minutes click, click, click. I just need to go through it all and cut out just the 20 seconds of madness that I need to upload for it all.
That is frightening.
There you go, Cora.
Absolutely frightening.
One employee asked the board why I had said in January that the game was complete and playable when that wasn't true. To which the board answered that it would take responsibility. Another developer asked whether CD Projekt's directors felt it was hypocritical to make a game about corporate exploitation while expecting that their employees work overtime. The response was vague and non-committal.
Dear.
There you go.
This will be where
the lawsuits are coming. Yeah, it's like the issue I said is like the one is obviously management. Two, I would say the fans and stuff. But again, at the same time, there's been death threats for a lot of things, and I know that's usually like the highest worst thing. But usually a lot of developers will say like, the game's ready when it's ready. I know a lot of games are rushed. I don't know. It's clearly released in an awful state.
Yeah.
And
I get why they did though, because they made so much money from The Witcher 3. They must have had enough cash to just carry on doing this thing for develop this as long as they needed to. I mean,
yeah, but what's the saying? It's not about it's when you're wealthy. It's not about the money. It's about all the money.
Which is true. But it's short-sighted, isn't it? Because this is gonna, it's gonna hurt them if they'd have taken their time, released this one. Because the thing that makes it especially frustrating, on top of obviously all the terrible way they've dealt with the public and the crunch they've put on the developers and all that. But the sad thing is, there's a really good game there, and if they'd just taken their time and released it later, people would have said, "Oh, we've had to wait a long time," but the story would have been, "But we've waited a long time for a really good game." Whereas now, the fact it's a really good game underneath it all is probably going to get forgotten. So it's just it's especially playing on PC where it's as close to the experience it should be as you can get. Obviously, playing it on a PS4 or the Xbox One, the base versions is a horrible experience by all accounts. But you can see, if you've got a system that can play it right, and you can ignore the quirks and the few sort of cosmetic type bugs, there's a really good game there if they just took their time to finish.
And the thing is there's silly bugs in there. There's the issues with obviously the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. You have issues with major, from what I've seen, so many different glitches. Some are quite bad, some are funny. You then have the PC issue of if you make too much stuff, use up too much memory or something, then it wipes your save.
Yeah, if you've got too much stuff, I mean, anything that puts your save file over 8 meg, which I don't know how close I am, but it doesn't seem like a big size. No. Basically it corrupts it, and good luck. You can't use that save again. And their response is, well, don't collect that much stuff.
Some of the responses from CDPR have been absolutely appalling.
Yeah, their PR is awful.
Well, I think one of the guys, the CEO, has been liking tweets saying that Sony shouldn't have offered refunds or something.
Yeah, he has.
Hey Graham, I don't know if I said hi. Also, hi Ubelian, hi Jawa, and hi Jim Jam. I hope you're all doing well.
No, Jim Jam's home from the shop, so I need to stop talking about her.
He said nothing bad about you, just said you made lovely food.
Or did I? No, I didn't. Please don't hurt me.
You'll just hear a high-pitched scream now, which is Coram, his nuts crushed.
But yeah, Ubel, I think, makes a good point. The game looks and plays great, and I think it kind of feeds into what you were saying as well, Jen. Like, the game looks and plays great. It's just that it's really, really buggy, and the last gen versions are completely unplayable by the look of it, and that's a shame because I only have an Xbox One, so I am essentially barred from playing the game.
I got a PlayStation 5, but I don't want to. I think I was talking to Ubelian and. Do you know what? Last Monday we were playing I think it was last Monday we were playing Fortnite, or the week before, and I said I think from now on with certain companies where I hear that like kind of shitty, if I want their games, I'll get them second hand from now on.
Yeah.
Because that way then I feel like I'm not contributing towards their bad practices.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat at this point as well, to be honest with you. It just seems... I don't want to, and I get that to some extent any game you buy is probably contributing to some bad practice somewhere, but where it's been blatantly publicised like this.
Yeah. The issue...
Minimise.
The worst issue is, I think, not the worst issue, but one of the worst things is like you've got EA and Activision who don't give a fuck, who just do what they want, and people obviously rightly criticise them, and some people still buy their stuff, especially Call of Duty. But what you had with CDPR is crunch is bad, we're doing our best, there's no crunch, we're doing our best for this, we're doing that. And it turns out everything they fucking said for the last few years has been just fucking lies.
Yeah, it's been nonsense, absolutely.
They've lied to everyone, they've genuinely, full on lied. They could have said nothing and just been like any other company, but they went that extra step to say, we ain't doing these things, to then do them.
Yeah, and
to be doing them while they're actually saying they're not doing them as well.
Yeah, it's reprehensible. It's not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. I'm watching, and I was saying this to someone in a different Discord today. I'm watching these lawsuits with a lot of interest because
you've got other Discords. You're cheating on us with other people.
I'm on many Discords, but I'm so sorry that you had to find out this way. But yeah, it's usually like when a lawsuit is brought against the company, it's not done so frivolously because then the lawyers are likely to get themselves sued. And the fact that there are currently 4 law companies in Poland and the United States gathering names for class action suits and various other things, tells me that some serious misstatements have been given behind closed doors potentially as well. So CD Projekt Red might be in the stink a little bit here.
CD Projekt Red also, if I'm right, as well as The Witcher 3 earning them fuck tons of cash, I am right in that it's CD Projekt Red, or at least CD Projekt, who own Good Old Games.
Yeah.
Galoob.
What?
What was? I thought you said Galoob Games, and I was like, what?
Good Old Games. GOG.
Oh, right. Right.
So, like, they make money from there as well. And they must make a lot of money from there.
Yeah, CDPR is the developer side of it that does, obviously, it makes the games. But yeah, ultimately, it's the one parent company that sits above. Yeah, so...
See what I mean? They got plenty of money. Why rush?
Yeah, exactly.
And why defraud, or why make stupid promises to investors? Because the money's clearly there. They're going to give you the, they're going to give you their assurances. They're going to give you the money because you've already proven yourself with The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I think it's like investors and everything else are looking to take them to court, isn't they? Like, is it investors and stuff? So
it's investors. That's what I mean. Like they must have made some really stupid promises for the investors to, rather than waiting it out and getting their money when the game is ultimately fixed. They are now looking at actually suing them to get their money back, and it's like something has gone seriously wrong. Yeah, behind closed doors for that to happen. But that's just me. That's just me kind of speculating based on the rumor mill. So it'll be an interesting few months, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out what goes on. Was it Jenuall whose Twitter post I saw where he tried climbing through a window and then teleported about a mile away from the building?
I saw that as well. Yeah, that was absolutely insane.
And apparently, because I clipped that bit because other people on the forum had mentioned exactly the same thing had happened to them. So it's clearly not an isolated incident.
Yeah.
And we're on patch 5 now. This obviously they're trying to fix other stuff, but I can't believe that. That's relatively early in the game, and you have to do that. It's not an optional thing. You have to climb through this window. They must have tested this. Somebody must have tried going through this window and thought, yeah, that'll do. We don't care if it teleports you 200 meters away.
Yeah, they could have said there's some kind of it's meant to happen. Cyberpunk. There's teleporters in this one as well.
Worse. I was going to say, the thing that makes it worse is like before you do that, you are told to do that by this other character that you're with, and she's just like, "Oh, just smash the window and climb in. No one's going to do anything." And it's just, the fact that there's like a quip before it saying, how simple this should be for you to do, just makes it even more ridiculous when you get shafted by it.
Jawa is saying, I don't know if CDPR could be sued or anything. Could you be taken court for frame rate and bugs?
So my understanding of this, based on the conversation that I had with the dude's like an amateur developer and stuff like that, I think. But my understanding is that it's very, very difficult to sue based on the coding. I think what it would need to be is if promises were made and like under false pretenses, if you like. So if CD Projekt Red in January said, we have a working build of this game on Xbox and PS4, Xbox One and PS4. Only for it to turn out 10 months down the line that they haven't got anything like that. I think that is when the suing gets done, rather than because of the actual bugs themselves. It's more the fact that they've covered that up. If that makes sense. So I don't think it would be this game has a bad frame rate or the coding's not up to scratch, because you can never really know until the game is released. If there are going to be like random bugs, because like game testers under the best of circumstances can't find everything. And like my understanding of it again is that the testers in this case all had real trouble getting builds of the game sent to them because of the pandemic.
Like the game itself, you're expecting there to be bugs. It's a big open world game.
Yeah.
You look at Skyrim, like the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout series, they've got massive. Obviously, it's different. But even like the Witcher games had bugs, like 1, 2, and 3. So it's not like They didn't come out. They didn't come out and like Witcher 3 was fucking perfect from the off.
No, I mean I think that the slightly troubling thing is the trajectory. Witcher 1 was pretty broken on release. It was not. It was but it was their first game and it was very ambitious. Witcher 2 was tidier, but it still had its issues. But they seemed to be on a trajectory of getting better at what they were doing. Witcher 3, it definitely had problems, but it was you could play the game. It was better than than Cyberpunk is on release. So it's kind of like they've gone backwards. I can understand if this was your first big open world game that it's a lot of new things to learn. But every game you've done has kind of been building towards this. The Witcher 3 was a big open world game, lots of stuff going on. They didn't have anything like the kind of issues this has. So it's kind of like, how can you have gone backwards in your ability to deliver on something, your ability to test something, and sort of going back to what Corey was saying there about the testers had trouble getting hold of release builds to do their testing because of the pandemic. And you just think, well, guys, you had the perfect excuse here to delay this thing further. There was a global pandemic.
Another thing that I noticed as well with this is there was NDAs that the reviewers had to sign so that things were embargoed, so they couldn't show the bugs. And they weren't allowed to say about any bugs. They literally were not allowed to talk about any bugs in the game. And if they did talk about them, they weren't allowed to show them until after the game was released.
Yeah.
So
I understand as well that they only got PC review codes, so they wouldn't have known about it.
Oh, Cora cut out.
On PS4 issues.
You cut out a bit by there, yeah.
I was going that one of the things, obviously, I think I posted this on the sort of thread we've got going on the forum about kind of what's gone wrong with this game. But obviously, CDPR are the ones who've really messed up here, and they deserve kind of a lot of flack for it. I think the fact that they weren't called out on all of this stuff, there were mentions of, we only played this on PC, but if I was a reviewer for some magazine or some website that's we're a PS4 website, I would be alarm bells ringing, like, why are we not allowed to play this on the system we're supposedly reviewing for? You shouldn't be able to do this. You shouldn't be able to just not show anything of the game from a platform it's releasing on, give reviewers a completely different version of the game, and expect everyone to just go along with it and say, it's fine, and just trust you that it's going to be fine on your system, but we're not letting you play it. This shouldn't happen in the future. If anyone else tries to do this kind of thing, it should just develop. The reviewer, should just down tools and say, no, we're not going to give your game your big 9 out of 10 score if you don't actually let us play the right version.
Yeah. Yep. The issue is again, I think an independent reviewer would have less issues with that kind of thing. Maybe because especially if they, like most independent reviewers, I guess, would buy the games on launch and review it and be out after launch. But again, I think the issues with the reviewers will work for companies who, again, it's all about advertising and the games they can get and stuff like that. And the issue you have is if you, from what I've heard, like, you don't tend to have people paying for scores and stuff, that kind of thing. From what I read, isn't really a thing. Like, people say, they paid for that score. But usually what it tends to be is more of, if you're going to keep reviewing my games badly, our company's games badly, we'll just stop giving you the games to review. And then obviously then that's cutting some of the markup for their people. You won't be advertising our game on there and stuff like that. So it's really just a big circle jerk of fuckery,
The old battle cry of, it's about integrity in games journalism or whatever that is.
Yeah, see, that would be fair enough if that's what the issue was. But it wasn't.
I know. But like everything is circular though. Like that was 3-4 years ago, and we seem to be coming back around to the whole. It's just nothing changes, and the same toxic, the same toxic elements are still there, in all of their glory as they were 4 years ago or whenever it was. Yeah. And we're getting that bit, like Cyberpunk has provided that perfect storm to get them all together again. Which is frightening. That's the issue in it. It is
you have the issue of the companies, you have the rabid fans who make things worse. Make it so that, like I said, you can't even speak out about a game Like you have these fans who've not played the game because the game is now. They defend the game to the best of their ability, and then it's making it harder for other people to speak out. Like I said about that woman who said that she had a seizure due to Cyberpunk. This was before the game came out. She was like a games journalist. She then had people saying, "Oh, my condolences," and that. Whilst those people who were sending false sympathies were sending their fucking videos intentionally to give her epileptic seizures.
Yeah, people are horrible. Like, you just how do you think that is the right response to that? That situation. To say,
people
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a seizure.
Up.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm going to defend this company.
It's attempted murder, that, because if she has an epileptic seizure, she could easily die.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the mind boggles at what's wrong with these people.
Fucking video game at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is assault. Yeah, definitely.
It is. It's what I genuinely think it's worse than that. I genuinely think that there's a case to be made for, attempted murder, because you're sending someone something that is designed to cause a potentially fatal reaction in that person's body. That's out of order on every conceivable level. It's comic mischief. Cracking.
No,
cracking.
Bants.
No, just banter.
See, we've started off, it's Christmas time, it's all supposed to be happy and merry, and we'll have a chat, and we've spent 40 minutes just saying how shit CD Projekt Red are. And it's not that CD Projekt Red are a bad company, it's just, it was mismanaged. The game obviously just needed to be, the development of the game needed to be extended. Simple as that. That is it.
We can all agree on that,
And again, playing the game, it's just, you can see the artists and the writers, and the music's quite good in it as well. Like, there's so many good things in here. So many people who clearly worked incredibly hard under terrible conditions, and they're not going to receive kind of the appreciation. If they'd done this right, they waited some time. All of the people involved, the people who put money down on it would have got their money back. CDPR would have made loads of money out of it. Everyone who was involved creatively would have got kind of the reward of people seeing how good their game is.
Yeah,
and it's just the whole thing's been screwed over by a few people who.
Yeah, because we've been talking about the game.
Manager.
We've been talking about the game for about 40 minutes. Jenuall obviously joined a bit later through the conversation, but most of the stuff we've talked about has been all negative because it's even though there are positive things to the game itself, like the way everything has gone is just completely outshined everything good about the game. Like, I've not played the game, so I can't comment on how good it is. You did say that there are good aspects of the game, but you didn't have a lot to say before we went back to, but it's shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's
not shit. It's just broke.
Yeah, playing it on PC is obviously the closest thing you can get to the way they wanted it to be, and most of the time. Yeah, you mentioned earlier about kind of open world games and Bethesda type stuff. Yeah, like most of the bugs I see are the kind of, that's funny, Elder Scrolls style. The horses kind of made down a backflip kind of thing. Most of it's just stupid stuff like that. Yeah, it breaks the immersion and it's a bit, it's like, this is supposed to be a gritty reality and all this kind of stuff. But it doesn't really affect the game. So you can kind of overlook those things. And 90% of the time, that's all you see on PC. So it is easier for me playing it on that platform to kind of appreciate the good things of the game. But even there's still kind of, there are game-breaking problems. Like, obviously, the fact your save file can get corrupted. Key mission triggers don't happen. You can get so far through a mission, then you're trapped because the right thing doesn't happen. It's still just enough wrong with it that you can't overlook the issues in the way that you can. Even people laugh about Skyrim, and stuff. I never really had that many major issues. It was all kind of the
silly little bugs, but not. One of the worst bugs I've had in a Fallout or Bethesda game was in Fallout 3, where for some reason I got to a point where I exited a door from a building. And then my right analog stick wouldn't work, so I couldn't look around.
Just standing there forever.
And the way I resolved it was by going back like I went
To the
back
future?
several saves. I didn't go back to the future. I went back several saves. It wasn't enough. I ended up having to go back like fucking hours and hours. Like really, like it was. I'd done loads and loads of shit. Met the Brotherhood of Steel, I think they're called. Then I did loads and loads and loads of more shit, and loads of more stuff, and then I had to go back to where I just met the Brotherhood of Steel because that's how much I lost. I was just so
Jesus.
disappointed.
That's crazy.
See, I've never had like a save destroying glitch with any open world game that I've played. Like the most I've ever had is like losing the odd half an hour or 40 minutes worth of.
Yes, usually from you dying
like,
and being
what
crap.
is
Like,
well, partially yes, but also no comment. How dare you? Mostly from like it's mostly Skyrim actually. Like even Oblivion, like Skyrim was much bigger and much better than Oblivion, obviously, but it also like massively increased the bug count.
Yeah.
And like it would be stupid things like falling out or like going into the water and then the game would just lock up and I would lose a load of like 20 minutes worth of time or something. I've never had anything that's genuinely locked up.
yeah.
Or
I think
like, you know,
One game,
the 8 megabyte thing.
One game I had a bug in which pissed me off. I love the game is Saints Row 2. I didn't lose a lot of data all the time. It was one certain mission. Like you'd be like a little bit into the mission, and then somehow if you hit a certain building, you'd go through into the building. So you're just stuck in this building you couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I say it pissed me off. I actually pissed myself laughing. And then obviously I just killed myself and then carried on the game like, but you know, but
I had a couple of weird bugs in Doom. The Doom 2016 and Doom 2020.
Don't be dissing Doom.
No, well, do you know what? I won't hear a bad word about either game because I love them. But
Yeah, they're great.
the and I assume we'll talk about best games of the year and stuff like that, and I'll have a lot more to say then. But Doom Eternal was a good one for, like, you know how when you've got to swing on the like the poles and do the weird platformy bits.
I am gonna I haven't played Doom Eternal, so I have no idea about the pole dancing.
It's a good game. You should play it.
I've had it since launch. I'm so many games.
No time.
I'm going to put in a 2-hour stream request with my head point so that you start it. Do you know what? Jasmine played through it recently on stream and it was really good. I started playing through it on stream and then I was like, I'm going to get more out of this if I just go through it at my own pace, and then in the next 3 days just non-stop playing it. But like watching Jasmine go through it was a lot of fun actually. So I think you would get a lot out of it, Pedz.
Oh yeah, probably. I streamed the first Doom. The first reboot of Doom. The reboot Doom. Not the first Doom. Technically speaking, it's Doom.
Twitch wasn't that good back then.
It wasn't Doom 3 in a way a reboot, like a soft reboot, because it was basically just Doom from
Doom
memory.
3,
But
Doom 3
horror-ish.
kind of sits. Yeah, it sits kind of apart from. Oh, the cat's lying on me and she's just falling off. Yeah, Doom 3 kind of sits apart from the whole series, I think, because it's not quite a reboot, but it's not quite a. It doesn't quite follow the timeline either.
That was good.
Oh, it's brilliant! Yeah, really. I don't think I've played a bad game.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good.
It's not really Doom from what I played. Doom is like fast-paced, frantic, shoot. Whereas what I played of Doom 3, it was like a lot more slower paced. It was more like horror-esque.
Yeah.
Than run round, bang bang, shoot.
Good description.
I'm very good with my words. Bang bang, shoot. Yeah, so we'll move away from Cyberpunk for a bit because we've said enough. And we talked a little bit about Doom there, but we will obviously maybe come back to that. Who knows?
I think we should.
We obviously talked about the Cyberpunk, and we obviously it was you yourself, Cora, who said any news, good or bad, that we could talk about. Is there anything else you could think of? What about the launches for the Xbox X and S series and the launch of the PlayStation 5? Have you got anything to say about, or even like the reveals? Because obviously I don't think I've spoken to either of you about anything to do with the new consoles, the new generation of consoles.
I really enjoyed like obviously I'm not a rich man. I don't have either of them yet, but I've really enjoyed kind of watching the different conferences and all the kind of reveals of games and stuff like that. The news highlight, like the genuine surprise highlight of the year for me was no, it was actually Perfect Dark.
Oh right, okay. I was expecting it to be Village.
Well, Village is great, but you're always going to get Resident Evil 8, and it's Capcom's. I think it's Capcom that recently sold its 100 millionth copy, like of a Resident Evil game in the series, and that's huge. That puts it in really rare air, and that's been a cool news story. But Perfect Dark is a 15-year dead series, and to see that come back, yeah, with one good game in it, but the good game.
It's a very good game.
It's still my all-time favourite game.
Okay. Question for you two: GoldenEye or Perfect Dark?
Perfect Dark, without question.
What is it that you prefer? What is it that you prefer about GoldenEye to Perfect Dark? Like for me personally, I prefer Perfect Dark. I prefer the weapons. I prefer the way I just prefer the game. Like obviously, it plays very similarly. It has the same kind of mission structure. And stuff like that, but for me, I preferred the weapons. I even enjoyed like the Skedar and stuff, which a lot of people seem to dislike. But I think people seem to dislike sci-fi stuff and alien stuff in their games. Like I remember people loving Crysis and then hating it when aliens were involved. I've never played Crysis, so I don't know.
Pesky aliens.
How dare they?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So for me, in reality, I played a lot more GoldenEye than I did Perfect Dark. So I'd largely abandoned the N64 by the time Perfect Dark came around. Because I think it was at 2000. So it's like, it's basically, it was the kind of tail end of the Nintendo 64's life. And yeah, I wasn't really playing that console by that point. Kind of, I think I'm trying to work out where it came out in kind of relation to where I was in terms of like school age and stuff like that. But I think I'd like moved from one school to another at that point. So basically all the people I played kind of multiplayer split screen GoldenEye with, kind of I wasn't interacting with those people anymore. So I had nobody to play multiplayer with. So it was kind of I just wasn't into it. So the reality is that if I'd given it more time at the time, I think I'd probably just because in many ways it's a superior experience. They took what was good about GoldenEye and they just added more to it, and
they didn't add more to it in everything. They reduced the frame rate.
Well, that is one thing that really put me off, because I was playing a lot of. It's 2000. I was playing a lot of like PC games at that point. I think I'd got a new PC the year before, so I was playing things like Deus Ex and stuff like that, and it was just kind of a why go back to kind of this slideshow that is.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, but like I think I had the kind of opposite experience of we didn't get our first computer until 2001. So like all of these PC games and stuff were just complete pipe dreams for me, and I was hyped up for Perfect Dark for about 2 years. And then when it came out, I played it non-stop for like 18 months until I got my GameCube. So like I've probably got the memories associated with Perfect Dark that you do with GoldenEye.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
I
think that's really it.
I never owned both. I just played them and finished them at a friend's, and for me, Perfect Dark was the better game. So simple as that, really.
Yeah, like I say, if I was looking at it kind of objectively, I don't think there's anything. Although the one thing that would still sway it probably GoldenEye's way for me is I love James Bond.
The Bond license is huge, isn't it? Yeah.
And still, that's probably my favourite modern Bond film is GoldenEye. It's a really good film. They did a really good job of kind of using that as a kind of the baseline for the game, but actually it's not really that similar. So I love Bond. Whereas I was for all the reasons I said before, I wasn't really bought into kind of Data Dine and Joanna Dark and all this kind of stuff in the same way.
Yeah, I think as someone who's always been like big on sci-fi and like weird sci-fi shit, I just ate all of that up. And I think I was 10 when it came out as well, so all the fantastical stuff with the Skedar and stuff like that was just wonderful for me. and seeing the advert, because I didn't know what, like, someone sent me it with no title on it, just saying watch this advert, and I kind of watched it, and then when the Datadyne logo popped up for the new Perfect Dark, I think I actually let out a small scream because I was so excited.
Is Jim Jam still around? Can she confirm it was a scream?
Well, it was at like 1 a.m, so I might have woken her up. I don't know, but like, yeah, it was just pure excitement, I think, for me.
Yeah, I must admit, it was good. It's not as, like I say, it's not a series I'm that invested in, but even I thought, oh, that's quite a good review for that. I thought they did a good job.
Jim Jan confirms.
Can confirm.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I thought that was a good reveal. I think it's kind of, they've waited long enough. Now,
the issue for me with our reveal is like many are revealed in a lot of the conferences, is it was CGI, no gameplay. It was cool to see, like Perfect Dark's coming back, this could be really cool. But it gave fuck all away for me. It was just like, Joanna stand on top of a building. Woo.
I'm assuming it's early stage of development, and that's why it's CGI only. But the one thing I really, really hope about it is that it stays away from the kind of modern FPS stuff, because it'll get lost. It'll get completely lost. It needs to, like, for me, if it goes back to the kind of original mission structure and like different ways to play on different difficulties, stuff like that, then
I think even Perfect Dark Zero had the extra side missions and stuff when you did.
Yeah, it was just a terrible experience all around.
Ray, what happened to you? Actually, Ray, I know it's not being made by Ray, but Ray, like Sea of Thieves is really good. So they kind of, now they've been allowed to make games again, they seem to be doing all right.
Yeah.
Instead of fucking avatars.
Actually, I'm still a bit of an apologist for Perfect Dark Zero, and I think it's sort of,
it's enjoyable playing in co-op, but it's not a good game. I think the experience of a shared experience reduces the crappiness because you have no laugh.
Yeah.
Same with Resident 5 and 6.
We used to play Perfect Dark Zero. I don't know if you were involved back in 2005, but when the 360 came out, all the GR who got the 360's early doors would go on every night and just batter through it, like 10, 16 player games and stuff like that. And that was brilliant because that was the first experience a lot of people had of genuine online gaming, even before sort of Halo 3 and stuff like that. So that was good. Yeah,
Infection, I think it was called. I used to play mostly.
Infection, yeah.
And I still love it to this. I still remember to this day Hugo buying the game a bit later, getting the game, and everyone having fun, and Hugo just going, "Yeah, guys, even online, this is absolutely shit. What is wrong with you all?"
People told him that it was a really good game and he really needed to get it, and then he got it and was like, "Why did you do that to me?" Like,
and that was right at the start of the 360 generation, so it was probably like 60 quid to buy that as well.
It was the launch game, yeah. I think I got it as part of a launch package, so I got that and King Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Oh yeah, I remember thinking that looked really good. Like. That was one of the games they had on the demo pods and stuff for the 360.
It looked quite good, and I think I traded that for Project Gotham Racing 3, which was also really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 360 had a pretty good set.
One thing Jawa says here, 1 second, is he hasn't got the dough right now for a console, and he's still trying to choose between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X or S series. One thing I will say to Jawa right now, if he sold like 1 or 2 of the copies of every game he owns, he'll probably be able to afford England.
I would genuinely hate to see Jawa's N64 collection get broken up, because from what I've seen of it, it is utterly
amazing,
fucking glorious.
Yeah. It is, but I have a PlayStation 5, and the only reason I have it is because I sold my PlayStation 4 and a load of games. And this is the second time in my life I've traded games in. And this time I didn't feel too bad about it, because I'm like, I've got this digitally, just trade roll in, like, you know.
Fair enough.
To be fair, because this is worthless now.
I was just going to say that, you're doing a disservice to how much Jawa's collections were.
You could buy Ireland.
Yeah, a country that's worth something. Oh dear.
Still part of the EU, therefore benefits.
Ireland, yeah. UK for another 10 days.
Let's not go.
We've
had enough negativity already.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
But yeah, so like with Perfect Dark, like I enjoyed the reveal in the sense of I thought it was pretty cool. Like I enjoyed the CGI trailer itself. I was like, but I what was this? And then I was thinking, oh, maybe it's Perfect Dark as I got there and I saw the D&D symbol. Kind of gave it away that it was Day to Tide. So I knew it was. but the point is when I was watching, like I didn't really know where it was because it looked like kind of post-apocalyptic as well. And they were on about like how the corporations have taken over and such. I was thinking, so is this a reboot? Or is it? Because I think I was talking to someone about it before. Is it a reboot? Was it not? I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it's going to be a reboot.
Like, to me, it looks like they're going to disregard Perfect Dark Zero and then set it later than the original. So sort of have the original Perfect Dark as a kind of like dropping in point and then set it maybe 5-10 years down the line after that.
Is Perfect Dark Zero actually canonical? Kind of because hasn't she like turned American?
She's American.
She's turned American. I feel bad. So I actually follow one of the art designers from the game on Twitter, and he's a lovely bloke. He used to work on N64 magazine and NGC magazine.
All right.
Will Overton, his name is.
I know the name. I think I follow them myself.
So he's like he was involved in all the art direction for the game and stuff like that, and I think it looks quite good. But the story of the game is fucking.
The game isn't very nice looking in the sense, like especially nowadays. When it first came out, it was okay, and like Joanna's design isn't so much an issue. The issue I had is she became American. I'm not English, so it's not like ooh. National pride is at stake. I don't care. But it's just like when you change, like, why change the character?
Yeah.
I think it was Cora who said, well, obviously, Carrington just beat the English into her or something.
She's rebelled against them.
Must have been like that. Must have been like how they were trying to explain that. It's like, oh, let's make her American. Let's make the really bad Scottish accent on Daniel Carrington even worse, and also shove him in a kilt. Because reasons, like there were all kinds of kind of story decisions that just didn't make sense, and it made it predictable as well. So like you started off and you start off and Joanna's got these two people with her, and you're like, well, neither of them are in the first game, so they're both going to die.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like the game kind of makes some really weird narrative choices to kill them off at different times.
Matt says he doesn't like Zero Joanna. I think the thing you have there is. I'm guessing that like the character designs for a lot of things are based on like what's popular at the time, and I'm guessing that kind of look with the hair she had and style, kind of.
It's very much of that era. That kind of like there's a style of action movie that came out around about the early mid 2000s that Perfect Dark Zero fits right into.
Resident Evil and that, like.
Yeah.
With
like
Mila Joko. Something or other. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, like thumping techno and metal soundtracks and all like that kind of.
I like Fifth Element
thing
more than I do Resident Evil.
Fifth Element's bloody brilliant.
It is. As I'm saying, I like it.
Yeah, I absolutely really good. I like the Resident Evil films, but I'm a bit of an outlier in that. And
I've only seen a couple of them, and I didn't mind them. I think I've seen the first one, and I don't know, like is one called Apocalypse?
That's the second one.
Was that not Resident Evil?
So I
watched the first Resi in the cinema and I enjoyed it at the time, but I watched it after and I was like, why did I enjoy this so much?
Don't watch it again.
I don't know why when I watch a film in cinema I tend to enjoy it more than when I watch it at home.
I think that's fair enough.
It's the experience.
But The Last Jedi I was struggling not to sleep in.
Oh, come on. It's a great movie.
What is that insane 10-line link that Matt's just put in the chat?
I have no idea.
Bug.
Something about yogurt.
Matt's been taken over by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, this is it.
It's Miller Corner? Why is he posting Miller Corners?
Jabba's gone to have one, I think, or was getting one, or is currently eating one.
Oh, I think actually the great culture divide between Australia and the United Kingdom is...
Mother yogurt.
Right, okay.
As long as we don't start a fight about what's better between, penguins and...
Tim Tams?
Tim Tams, what, yeah.
Penguins.
You said it now. It is penguins, but
It's got to be a penguin, yeah.
Look, there's one simple reason why it's penguins is because I've never had one of those other things.
I had my first one this year, and it was a letdown after years of being told that they were superior biscuits.
All right, like the basically penguins.
They're penguins, but not as good.
Tim Tams have a better range of flavors.
It's not about the range,
penguins have the best range. They have normal and mint. Done. I don't give a shit about any other flavour. There is.
There is an orange penguin, yeah.
There is, but I don't care. They've got normal and mint. That's all you need.
You can have a range is only worthwhile if your base flavour is any good. The default Tim Tam's horrible.
Wait, I genuinely could barely taste the difference between the Tim Tam and the penguin.
They are very similar. I found it a lot drier, the Tim Tam. It didn't have that same consistency to that the penguin has.
Jar was saying about the Tunnix wafer, and I don't know if he means the caramel wafer or the caramel log. One is better than the other.
I like is that the ones which is like caramel and wafer and chocolate, and then there's another one which is like got bits in it of coconut or something on it, which is nasty.
Yeah, so it's got like a diamond logo on it. Kind of.
Yeah, I like the wafer nice. I like the wafer one without the nasty shit added.
I just want a Tunnix tea cake now.
Keep your coconuts away from me.
You're not a coconut man?
No. Well, depends on what coconuts you're talking about, doesn't it? No, I don't like coconut stuff.
I guess we were bound to find that out at some point.
Oh.
It's Christmas. Cracker jokes coming out.
Yeah, it's just time for the cracker joke.
Yeah, so Perfect Dark is one of the things that you're excited about. And anything pop up for you then, Jenuall, over the year of the news? You're excited about news or anything? PS5? Do you have your PS5 and just like rub one out to it or something?
Whoa. Well, I mean, obviously I did that. What sane person wouldn't? So I was really excited about both the consoles, but then decided to build a new PC instead. So I haven't got it.
I was excited about both of them. Well, PC. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Screw this PC supremacy. But I'm sorry. Yeah, I was really tempted to get a PS5, mainly because of Demon Souls.
I got Demon Souls.
I've got into the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne and that in the last sort of year or two, and yeah, Demon Souls is the one I've not played. So that was the main thing that was tempting me into the PS5.
It's coming to PC though, so
again, yeah, that's kind of what I thought as well. If I get a PC, I'll get all of the Xbox Game Pass games. They'll come to PC, and most of that was the thing that annoyed me. I only got my PS4 last year, and as soon as I get one, they start releasing all the bloody games on PC. So Horizon came to PC, Death Stranding, another one I was looking forward to. That they were like, oh yeah, that's coming to PC as well. So I'm just not going to bother, I don't think, with the consoles anymore. Just stick with the PC.
I can understand, I can understand why you would stick with PC, like a PC over just one console. Before anyone shouts and screams at me, I'll explain why. If you were to get, say, like obviously not so much a Switch, I'm thinking more PlayStation 5 or 4 and Xbox. With Xbox, you've got Game Pass. All your games are coming there. Multi-platform games are also still coming to the PC. And with the PlayStation side of it, you have PlayStation Now, which is streamable on PC. So you have access to all the PlayStation stuff that's on PlayStation Now, as well as Xbox Game Pass stuff, all on one platform. Yeah, if you want to play the Switch and stuff on there, you have to be a naughty boy or girl, a naughty person, and like pirate stuff. But you still could. I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying, because I haven't done that and I'm not planning on doing that. I have a Switch. I'm happy enough playing on that. But the point is from the PC, if you have a good enough PC, you can play all the stuff without getting any of the consoles.
Yeah.
If you have just a PlayStation or just an Xbox, you are missing out on the other games that are coming out for the other platforms. So I can understand why one person would say, right, I want a PC over one console. It makes sense in my eyes.
And it's one of those things as well. It's like console wars and fanboyism is obviously stupid and wrong and pointless. But on the same, on the flip side of that, I've always, I think I was, when I was, quite young, we had computers rather than consoles. So we had a Spectrum and we had an Amiga. We eventually got like a Mega Drive as well, but so I've always kind of been more towards the computer side of things. And then we got our first PC, I think, when I was like 10 or something. So I kind of always, I just, I feel like I am a PC person. Whereas because I was thinking again with the PS4, I've never really clicked with my PS4, even though I know that there's loads of good games on there, but it's just never felt like my machine in the way that a PC does. And it's just one of those things. I guess it's personal, but so
I'm laughing at Jawa. Spectrum spits at ground.
He's going to start going on about his C64 now, I guess.
I got a Spectrum. It's upstairs.
We've still got it. My parents have still got it.
I think mine's a ZX+2, something like that.
Yeah, we had an original one, and then we got a +3, which had like a disk drive built into it, and it was awful. It was one of the ones when I think after Amstrad bought them out, and they just
good old Sugar.
Sugar, yeah, he's a smart man, isn't he? But yeah, so I've mainly the thing I spent all year thinking, I'll hold off building my PC for a variety of reasons. I was waiting for there were new parts that were going to be announced, and then by the time all the new parts got announced, it turned out that they'd only made about 5 of them, so they all sold out within seconds. And so it just by the time the new consoles were coming out, I just thought I'm just going to stick with the PC route. So
yeah, that's fair enough. I want them all. I like having them all.
I do like the look of them. Like I mean,
I don't like the look of the PlayStation 5. It looks like
no. I was going to say the games on PS5. I like the look of the machine itself. I think looks like some kind of hideous monstrosity that someone shat out. But
someone said it looked like a console giving birth to another console.
Yeah. Someone said it looks like I can't remember what console. It's like a PlayStation something giving birth to an Xbox One.
Yeah. Aye.
It reminds me of one of my old routers, to be honest.
Yeah. But if I'm going to get a console, it'll probably be a PS5, and I'll probably buy it near the end of its life.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, there's lots of things that did excite me from one of the big things that they were pushing on PS5, because I think it was originally going to be a launch game and then it got pushed back, was a game called Deathloop. Which is by Arcane, and I'm a huge fan of Arcane's stuff. So like,
well, you'll still be able to play this stuff because Game Pass on PC.
Exactly.
They own that. Are Arcane owned by Bethesda, which is owned by ZeniMax, which is owned by Microsoft? So
yeah, so it's all in the happy PC space. But again, I was always likely to be getting that on PC anyway. But yeah, that of the kind of recently sort of talked about games and trailers and things like that, Deathloop is the one I'm really looking forward to.
See, I like Dishonored. I like what I've played of it. The issue for me is, and I know this is more of a me thing than the game thing, is I've heard that the game, if you kill people, it gets more difficult in certain ways. Also, you don't get the best ending if you kill people.
I've heard this argument. It doesn't really change much, and also
I know, but because
the endings are all pretty rubbish, to be fair.
Yeah, but my issue is I want the best stuff, and I want to play stealthily, but I don't like playing stealth games. I would rather just kill things, and I don't.
It doesn't. The thing is, if you like killing things, the Dishonored games have got a thing in it called the chaos system. So you've got high chaos and low chaos. If you kill people a lot, you'll get high chaos, and the more chaos you get, the harder in theory it gets. But basically, the only thing it changes is that there'll be more enemies in levels. Well, if you like killing things, you should like there being more enemies around because there's more things to kill. So it doesn't really change the experience that much. But I don't think they explain it very well in game. But that's So yeah, Deathloop is definitely, and Deathloop is one where they're clearly going much heavier on the game is about killing people. Clearly, there will still be a stealth side to it, and there will still be like non-lethal approaches you can take. But all of the kind of trailers for it and stuff have been about. Well, the whole point of the game is you need to kill these. I think it's 6 people in this, to break this loop cycle that you're stuck in. So I think it's clearly geared more towards if you like killing people, this will be fun. Yeah, it's all about the
moidering people. But thinking about Deathloop, you mentioned it. This year, maybe even last year, there's been quite a few time looping looking games being out. Like 12 minutes, I think, is one. Which looks cool. If you don't remember what that is, it's like a top-down game. It's an indie top-down game, and it shows like a man and a woman having a conversation. And then it shows like different things happen, like someone busted in through a door, like a robber or something, and then various other things. So you have quite a lot of shit going on now.
We've had a raid.
Hey, Enos! Enos, thank you so much for the raid. It is massively appreciated from both myself and everyone from GRcade.
Yep,
even if they don't know who we are, who you are, because you're not on the forum. But yes, thank you so much. You should join the forum. grcade.co.uk.
I've watched some of Enos's Sims streams and they're wonderful.
Yes, they are wonderful. I completely agree. But you have to understand that Enos is insane. In a good way.
Gloriously insane.
Yeah, exactly. So you had that Deathloop. You had that 12 minutes. You had that other game which popped up in a PlayStation 5 conference.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah, but
it's just the one with the 2 hitmen.
No, that's Deathloop. The 2 hitmen.
Yeah. Oh, that is Deathloop. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
the other one I was thinking of is like it looks like a woman crash lands on a planet and she keeps dying and coming. But when I first saw that, I thought, dude, that looks like Sigourney Weaver. I thought the character looked similar to her, but it's not. I don't think.
I think that's kind of the rules. If you've got a lead that's a woman in a space type environment, it's got to be Sigourney Weaver in some way.
Yeah. But the funny thing is now they based a bit. Well, no, Samus was based on her, but like a lot of Metroid originally was based on Alien.
I genuinely didn't know that. I'm not surprised at it, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was indeed a lot of I think a lot of games take their inspiration from certain films.
Do you know there was a thing in the 80s where the vast majority of game box art was lifted directly from movies?
Yeah.
So someone did an analysis of it, and it was like, so Contra's box was lifted from I think one of the Rambo films.
Yeah.
Cobra was used as a model quite a lot.
I was going to say, was it the second Metal Gear game where like all the character portraits when you're on like the codec calls are just like, it's like Mel Gibson and Sean Connery. It's just like mugshots of they barely changed, but just like digitized. They've just like ripped off all these real life actors' faces.
That's cool.
I'm looking that up now just to see what they look like.
But yeah, I know that I'm sure a big inspiration for Metroid was Alien. I think that's probably why they made Samus female in the end. I think originally it was like it was put in there as a kind of people will think it's either a man or a robot, and then it blows up. Either it blows up and then Samus is revealed underneath, so people are like, oh my god, it's actually a woman. But
that was like one of the all-time gaming reveals. Yeah. Just looking at these, there's a kind of image to Metal Gear comparison, and it is ridiculous, actually ridiculous. Like Solid Snake's Mel Gibson, Roy Campbell is Richard Crenna, who was the major in Rambo.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein's in there, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah. They would just get completely sued. Well, they should have got sued then, really. You couldn't do that now.
I love it. I think that's absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
It is pretty great. I haven't seen the cover, I'm just saying it's pretty great. What was that game called? That space game?
That narrows it down.
Gonna say, like,
that space game that I was on about. I want to know the name of the game because I mentioned it. I want to know the name
one
of
in
it.
the PS5 thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It did look quite good.
It did.
Um,
There's a third-person shooter, I think. Some parts of it, I was looking at it when they showed the second trailer for it. It was more gameplay and stuff. And
Returnal?
the fucking... It might be, Eternal.
Returnal?
Yeah, Returnal. There's obviously Return and Eternal.
Yeah.
So you can see what they did there.
Yeah, but the bits of it look like Bullet Hell, where you having to avoid loads of fire and stuff. It looked really cool.
Yeah, it was one of those where because the kind of reveal of it looked very different for what the gameplay did. You couldn't really tell what sort of game it was going to be, and then they sort of started showing gameplay. And it's like, oh, okay, this is very different to what I was expecting.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Are any of you two looking to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox then? After like all the stuff, like after some of the games that have been shown, because obviously more have been shown since I've spoken to both of you last, on here at least.
So my expectation is I probably the same way with the PS4. So I got my PS4 last year, so pretty much right at the end of its life cycle, just because I wanted to catch up on the exclusives that there was no other way of playing. So I suspect I'll end up doing the same thing with PS5 because there are a bunch of games that are coming out for it that do look really good. But at the same time, certain things that I am interested in. So the new Horizon game, well, the last Horizon game eventually came to PC, so that might happen again. But things like the new Ratchet and Clank, that looks really good.
That looks cool. I think that's the best looking. I don't know about best looking visually, but it's the most interesting looking PlayStation 5 game from the original reveal, at least.
Yeah.
Because it genuinely looks really interesting, I think,
Yeah,
with all like going through different worlds and stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I suspect I will end up getting one, but I'm not in any rush to.
What about you, Cora?
I'll be honest with you, I had to step away for a minute and I've lost the thread of the conversation.
Just asking if you, after what's been revealed up till now, do you have any plans on getting a PlayStation 5 or a Xbox Series console?
It's been kind of pro Xbox, but there's an awful lot on PS5 that I want. So eventually, and it'll be many years from now, but eventually I'll have both of them. Priority's probably the Series X. I'm not banned from buying future consoles. I'll probably get the Series X when they come back on the monthly pay thing that we were talking about on a previous podcast.
Yeah, Xbox All Access.
That's the one.
I'm not sure exactly what you get now, but it's something like an Xbox X Series, £28 a month with 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate included.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any.
I already pay like £12 or something for the Game Pass, so it's not even like it's a massive upgrade. I'll get a PS5 eventually, but not for a couple of years, I don't think, until it's got a kind of a solid library behind it, and then I'll go back. I'll pick up Miles Morales. I'll pick up Bloodborne. A few different, like whatever else is out on it by. Hopefully, Spider-Man 2.
Well, what I've got so far, PlayStation 5 wise, is obviously it comes with Astro's Playroom, which is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely good fun. Yeah, if you're a massive Sony nut, you'll enjoy it even more because of all the throwbacks and stuff. Like this, at one point I was laughing, thinking this is really cool. Basically, you walk around and some of the bots you see will be like dressed up as characters from games, and one of them was Dante shooting another one of the bots in the air with his dual guns. And it's just a little Dante freaking Astrobot. But there's loads of cool stuff like that in there. There's also a lot of like collectibles and stuff to get in there. And then there's a final, once you finish all the levels, there's a final level that opens up, and that is fucking amazing. I genuinely love that. I talked about with Victor, a couple of weeks back. Whoops. He's changed his name and I forget.
He's just broken his witness protection now.
Well, to be fair, the last time he was on, I kept calling him Victor, and he did say, that his dog jumped on his chair, wanting to be Adam for a minute. That was his words. Yeah. So there you go.
He's only got himself to blame then.
Exactly. I didn't know his name was Adam. I thought it was Ad7.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. I also have Sackboy Adventure, I think it's called, or Sackboy's Big Adventure. That is really
Sackboy's 3D World Ripper.
Yeah, it is like that, but it's really good. It is so fun to play. And do you know, like in Rayman Legends, I think it was, where you had like the music levels, where you'd be doing stuff and well, you've got stuff like that in this as well, but obviously it's more of a 3D kind of experience, and it is really, really good. It's probably the best. Sackboy's Big Sack Adventure. It's not called a Big Sack Adventure, is it? So you have that in there, which is really, really good. And I've been playing it with the missus. I've been playing it in co-op. We've just had really good fun playing it. I've been recording game footage, so I might do a little review at the end of it. Maybe not. We'll see. I say review, a bad review, I'll put. But that's quality, not quality of game. So that's genuinely fun. I've also grabbed Demon's Souls ready to play that, but I've started Bloodborne instead. Because
no, it's a great game.
We'll say that about Dark Souls, and I'm like,
I was gonna say, you don't like any of it, so you can't comment.
I just finished Dark Souls the other day. I like it.
Yeah, well, there we go. You'll come round to.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying people give them way too much praise for what they are. They're janky messes for the most part, with a bit of goodness in between.
Fun though, isn't it? Like...
It is fun. I especially love being stabbed through a fucking wall.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Oh, I'm up against the final boss. Oh, I've hit the final boss a few times. Oh, I've backed up. And now a Black Knight has stabbed me through the mist and killed me.
Gotta get good.
Yeah. I'll build my own fucking wall 20 meters thick again. Not a Soulsborne fanboy. How dare you? I enjoyed Dark Souls. I still don't think it's as good as a lot of people give it credit for. I think it's way
watching
overhyped.
people play through them. I've been enjoying watching people play through them to the point where I kind of want to play it myself, having never been interested in it before. And I keep saying I'm going to start, and then I keep remembering that I have like actual work commitments to finish over the next few weeks.
Are you going to say you have actual good games to play?
No, I've got like I'm just looking at my backlog just now actually, and I've got a few games that I downloaded that a load of Tim Schafer remakes came out on Game Pass, and I downloaded them all to play and then just ignored them.
Yeah.
So I need to go back to them as well.
Huge problem these days, because I was looking at it. So I posted on the forum about an hour ago about how on the Epic Game Store on PC, the Alien Isolation game is currently free, and I was looking at it, but they're giving a free. Yeah, they're giving a free game. They've got a holiday sale on, and there's a free game every day.
Yep.
So and that's on top of it. So Epic normally do, I think, every week there's a free game. Sometimes they're crap, obviously, but sometimes they are quite big games. I think Just Cause 4 was on there the other week. And so between that, you've got Game Pass where they're just throwing games at you. Twitch because I've got Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
The Twitch Prime just throws games at you all the time.
Yeah.
You've got PS Plus. Yeah, every month you get. My backlog is getting massive, and I bought about 2 games this year, but it's completely out of control now. There's no way of staying.
The good thing is it's better to have too many games than not enough games.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I'm in the same position. I got a fucking backlog of 4,000 games on Steam on its own, and there's people who are worse off than that. I say worse off. The good thing is I get my games in bundles. I can't afford to buy buying new games all the time unless I trade in stuff, and I've traded in most of my PlayStation 4 games, so I can't trade in more. I say it was also Xbox One games and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think I traded in 2 copies of Fallout 4.
No,
I had a PlayStation 4 copy and an Xbox One copy. No idea why. But there you go. But yeah, you are right. There's just too many games now.
It's not the worst thing for me. I quite like having an epic backlog to just kind of dip into, but you get the agony of choice after a while.
Yes.
It's just like, oh wow, I've got 147 games sitting here. What am I going to play? And then 4 hours have passed, and you're still sitting there staring at a screen.
There's been times I'm like, right, I'm going to stream at 9. I'm going to start the stream at 9, crack on with something, and then I'm like, right, what do I play? Shall I install this, or shall I play something I've got installed? But I'm already playing this game and this game, and but I also want to play this new game. It's like, and then all of a sudden it's 2:00 in the morning. It's too no point now. I'm just gonna go to bed.
I'm not like one for doing New Year's resolutions or any of that kind of stuff. But it's something I am genuinely thinking of doing is being much more kind of directed about what I play. Because it has got to the point where it's just there is too much choice, and I end up just picking up and dropping things too quickly. And it's not.
Jawa would know.
Yeah, Jawa's all about that. But I used to finish pretty much every game I played. I remember like being a kid. Obviously, I didn't have disposable income, and it was but parents. I've got 2 brothers, and our parents would like buy us a game kind of once in a blue moon. And it's like you don't get a new game until you finish the old one. Kind of thing, and that used to be my sort of mentality. Unless I really wasn't enjoying something, then I ditch it or trade it in. But it used to be if I bought a game, I completed that game. Yeah. Whereas now, like the percentage of games I actually finish is tiny compared to kind of the ones I own or the ones I even start. And I definitely one of the things I want to do is just be a bit more like, right, what do I actually want to play? What do I think I'm going to enjoy? And sit down and just kind of focus on getting through a game. Rather than being distracted by all the shiny other things that come along. Because it's getting so hard, and it's just that kind of the fear of missing out thing in terms of like Game Pass has got 100 games for me. You can get pretty much guarantee somewhere in there's probably a game that I will think is amazing, but I don't necessarily know which one it is. And it's kind of how to try and pick the right thing to play.
Matt in chat has said he's really good at finishing games, he's just bad at starting them. And what Matt has done is he's put a list of the games he wants to play the most. I think this is what he's done. He'd be better at explaining it himself, but for some reason he hasn't joined chat. Even though last week when I asked him to join, he said he would. Scumbag. Anyway, Matt has basically done like a short-ish list, I think, with games. And it may not be short, maybe like 30, 40 games for all I know. I think what he's done is basically choose one at random via a random number generator and then played that game until he's finished it. And I think that is a good way of doing it. But for me personally, I like I said, I've got looking at say 5,000 games in total. It's a big list. But then again, I could also just do these are the top 10 games I want to play right now. Let's do that, but I was at one point doing pretty good with sticking to games. I was doing like this game on one day, this game on another day. This year I had is I wasn't finishing games quick enough. And because I started doing things like game reviews and stuff like that as well, I wasn't finishing in any games to actually do reviews for. And it's like, and like, while I'm not, like, it's not like I'm getting millions of views on my reviews and making loads of money from it. I enjoy sitting down and doing little bits of editing and stuff like that. So it's just a fun thing for me to do. But you can't do it if you haven't got anything to do it with.
That's kind of the sort of flip side to what I was just saying in terms of I do want to kind of get better at focusing on, well, let's play this and finish this. But on the other hand, it's kind of coming to terms with the fact that, well, actually, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're playing stuff, you might play 50 games and only get 10% of the way through them. And you can look at that as a bad thing. But also you can say, well, if you had fun doing it, does it really matter? And it's kind of just resetting your sights and your expectations in terms of like, well, I don't watch every TV show kind of as a religious thing. I must finish this. Sometimes it's just I'll stick this on and enjoy it, and and that's fine. And it's kind of just sort of reframing the mindset to say, well, as long as you're enjoying it, doesn't necessarily
probably because matter. It's probably as you said, when you're younger, you are used to doing this certain thing. You play in your games until completion because you can't get them. And when you've got a lot of games in, it can also feel like, I've had fun, but have I had my money's worth? And I guess it depends on how you really perceive it. It's like, well, I've had 5 hours of great fun. That's enough for me. Other people will be like, well, I need to play the game 100%. even if they're not enjoying it, people will do that because they want everything out of the game because they paid for it.
Yeah.
But if you're not enjoying it, it's just why don't?
Yeah.
Like I'm on Dead Rising 4 just now, and I'm at the point where
You want to
I've got
smash
12
the TV?
achievements. Kind of, but I've got 12 achievements left to get on it, and they're just like either super involved or insanely difficult. And I'm kind of like, I will finish this. It's attritional now.
Yeah.
I have to finish it. I will finish it.
I thinking about it,
even though I'm not really enjoying it that much anymore.
Yeah. Maybe you should just leave it and not bother with the achievements. Like for me, the only Dead Rising I finished is 3. I played it in co-op with my brother-in-law and thoroughly enjoyed the time and played it all the way to the end. Like I played 2 in co-op with him for a while, but like one of our internets went off for a bit and then we never went back to it. And Dead Rising, the first one I played for a while, and again, it's enjoyable. But Dead Rising for me was at its most fun playing it in co-op. I don't know if 4 is co-op, but 2 and 3 is good.
If you fancy going through Dead Rising 2 on co-op, hit me up because I need to. I've never done that in co-op, and I would quite like to.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm still waiting on us to do a weekly GRcade stream of Resi 5 and 6.
Yeah, we need to get that started. We'll put Dead Rising 2 on the list. It's just zombie games.
Well, this is
zombie games all the time.
As we're talking about GRcade, we usually do. We started recently doing Retro Hour again. We've been sticking to Mondays from 8 till 9. We've done it a few weeks. I stopped then because it was getting close to Christmas, and only 4 people I think have said they want to take part, and we only have about 10. So I want to find out now after Christmas who still wants to take part, because I think it'd be better. I would also like to, on a Monday, we sometimes do multiplayer Monday. I think we should do some weeks of like multiplayer where, like, say 8 of us jump on Rocket League, and then other weeks have Monday from 9 till 12 of a co-op game until the game's finished. I think that would be interesting for the channel. It's not my channel, it's the GRcade. I don't get anything for doing stuff on you. I just think that the forum. I've spent like fucking over half my life on Games Radar and GRcade. When you combine the 2 sites, and it's not growing. And every so often someone leaves, and it's obviously slowing down then. And the thing I want more than anything is for it not to die, because I've met a lot of people through it who I actually like.
Yeah.
So, 25 years. I think on GRcade I have been, when I joined Games Radar when I was, I don't know, maybe 17. So you're looking at about 20 years.
I was
Crazy.
20 years. I'm not 30 fucking 8.
Get the maths right. Come on.
I was 13 when I joined, and I'm 31 now. So that's frightened me a little bit. Thanks.
I genuinely can't remember when I would have joined, but yeah, it was definitely back in the Games Radar days.
Yeah. I can actually remember my first post. I was asking. I can't remember exactly what I said. I remember posting, asking a question, and 8 hours replied saying, "Oh, it's nice to see someone on you who can actually spell and punctuate and has good grammar." And then I posted the same post. He said, "I take everything back."
That was such a knob for that.
It was like, what? But yeah, that was like, yeah.
Friendly welcome.
Friendly welcome. Like I signed up after my friend had signed up, called Stormcaller, who was on there.
I didn't realise you knew him.
Yeah, I used to visit him every Wednesday because he lived like literally across the road from me. I'd pop over there on a Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Wednesday, and then we'd have gaming and food night. It would be me and him and his brother-in-law eventually. Where 1 week one of us would cook, and then we'd just play games or watch films. Like sometimes we'd have a chili, sometimes we'd have something else. I made ramen one time, and ramen, not pot noodles, actual ramen.
Actual ramen.
So yeah, it's good fun. But yeah, he lives quite far away from me now, so I haven't seen him for about 5-6 years. I think he's the last friend I actually seen in real life about 6 years ago.
Oh well.
Maybe longer. was before
Well,
my
that's
youngest
just-
was born, and he's 7, so 8 in January. So yeah, it's been a good while.
But let's face it, seeing friends in real life is old news now. That's not going to
Yeah,
be happening.
don't see him.
Yeah,
I don't see. I don't see him.
Finger
Hey, Devlin, thank you so much for the raid. Both myself and GRcade is greatly appreciated of it. Greatly appreciative of it.
We
This
appreciate
is what
it.
8 hours were saying now.
Damn it, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met up with Jazam. I'm on about more people I've knew in real life before I've met people online. Me and Jazam has met up in Cardiff several times to have sex in his car.
Cool.
That should be nice.
We've never done that, but no, we've met up in Cardiff 5 times, I think, over for Nintendo South Wales.
It was always very strange how like sexually charged GR meets in Glasgow got. I think they were actually called the GRcade, whatever it was, meet and meet.
Yeah, meet and meet, yeah.
The first couple of times we did them, and then it just got to the point where we were actual genuine friends and just meeting up from time to time. But yeah, GR's been really good.
You know, is he you, Banjo, and a few other people know each other?
Yeah, Bunny, Anung, or various ominous drones as he's now known. Henk, who pops up from time to time.
Yeah, to pop into. You don't see him, all of a sudden there's a game of Are You a Werewolf, and he comes in going, I'm calling you the wolf, Cora, and it's like that's just what they do. Come in, accuse you.
Yeah, he accused me of being a wolf, and then when I died, sent me a load of like kissy face emojis on Facebook. But yeah, GR's it's been very good in terms of just becoming an actual community, I think.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Hopefully the community can continue to grow or start growing again by us lot doing things on your because a few years back when we were doing stuff on your and it was regular, there was several streams a week, the people were actually tuning in who were tuning into Twitch were actually coming to the forum and checking out, and some signed up and so on and so forth. So
that's what we need.
That's what we need to do. We need to branch out.
We need Grum posting more. That's what we need.
We need Grum to take part in these chats, because the issue we have with Grum is, guys, he's a sweet guy. He's great. But he's like, he's like, oh, Grum, do you fancy jumping on? I'm going to talk about something. He's like, I'm boring. I have nothing to say. It's like, no, Grum. Everyone loves you. Everyone loves you. You could just say hi and then leave, and people would be happy with it. You do not understand, Grum.
Yeah, and let's face it, we're all pretty boring.
Yeah. You're talking to a literal history teacher. Like, what more do you want?
I've been on like nearly every one of these, and I swear to God, I bet half the people don't listen because I'm on you. Oh my God, it's that Welsh twat again.
It's not that one. Yeah, we were talking about you before we came on. I would love it, Ubes, if Grum was a history teacher. I don't know why it would make me happy, but it just really, really would make me happy.
I wish they get amazing holidays. From the sounds of it, Grum doesn't get amazing holidays, and he has to work all through his holidays. Did I say Grum or Cora? I said someone's name. I'm not even drunk,
Grum.
but you know.
You said Grum.
Right, okay, well, I meant Cora.
So you're okay.
Grum
my holidays. My problem is that I have 2 jobs and other things, like other non-paid jobs on top of those jobs, so it's just like jobception.
To be honest, people probably do think that Cumberdanes, and that's fair enough. But it wouldn't happen if I didn't nag like a fucking bitch all the time.
You know what? That is true. That is very true. If it weren't for Pedz, these things would not happen at all. So you just have to put up with them, Danes.
It's worth it.
You could obviously I want people to tune live, but you could always listen to it after the fact. Just mute me whenever I start talking, and unmute when I'm done. I'll put in like on the subtitles on YouTube. Pedz is speaking, and then Pedz has stopped speaking. And you can do that.
To the best of my knowledge, no one that I teach at uni has ever seen one of my like me on stream or on here or anything like that. But my personal Twitter, for some stupid reason, links to my Twitch profile. So it will happen eventually.
Yeah, especially as at one point I was I've got it set up so I can tweet from the GRcade channel, Twitter, and I do sometimes tag people at them or whatever the fuck they call it nowadays. And I have done it with Cora for the podcast, so people may. Oh, really?
Oh no! Stop!
To be fair, having dragons is pretty cool.
You can't beat a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Like, I wish we could put a dragon on our flag. We just get a fucking stupid unicorn.
Last time I tried fighting a dragon, it took me over 3 hours to kill it, and that was after I removed his tail.
You know what? I felt genuinely sorry. See, by the end of that stream, like, I remember saying to Devlin saying about it as well, I felt genuinely sorry for you because you were so tired. It was like you wanted nothing more than to sleep. And it was just like, I have to kill this dragon, I have to kill it.
And then it was like more, and on top of that with doing other stuff and then going as well. I think I should have killed the dragon, gone to bed, come back the next day and carried on with the game. But I didn't. I'm a moron.
I think a lot of people give up on the dragon, so you did pretty well.
Yeah, I don't see myself getting as far as the dragon when I go through it.
I've been playing it on PC this time, Dark Souls, but I played it originally on Switch, so obviously you don't get achievements, but it's interesting kind of looking at the percentages of achievements, and by the time you get any distance into Dark Souls, it's like, you can kill a boss only about a third of the way through the game, and the achievements only got about 20% unlocked and things like that. So I imagine the achievement for beating Calamite or whatever he's called is pretty low.
Well, I am going to check exactly what that is because I don't know if you guys know about true achievements.
I did it on the PC though, so
like it has a really cool way of working out like ratios and how difficult achievements are and stuff like that. The higher the number.
There is an anime called My Hero Academia. I think it's called Boku no Academia and something like that.
I've heard of that, and I don't watch anime at all, but I've heard of My Hero Academia and I don't know why.
Well, there's a game. My Hero Academia, something Justice, I think it's called. One Justice, I don't know.
Right.
But one of the main characters is called Deku. One of them's called All Might, and that's all I can remember of the characters. I watched the first two seasons, and they were really good. And I heard that season 3 was based around the best manga arc, at least at the time it was being aired, and I just never watched it because I'm bad. But I have no problems with that. But yeah, a game. I don't like leaving them.
What's the name of the thing? Is it Calamite?
I was just looking into it. And I don't think there's an achievement. No, because I think I was just reading something. Apparently, there's no achievements in the DLC at all.
Oh, that's tough.
I can't believe that. But
disgusting. I'm sure. No, I was going to say. I'm sure there was an achievement for killing the guy underground, Lord Whoopie Pants. But I could be wrong.
There might be, I guess, because he's optional, like isn't he, Calamite? So
yeah,
they just didn't bother.
Soul Lord, Grave Lord, Nito. These names mean very little to me at the moment.
Isn't Nito the death-like guy?
Grave Lord Nito, yeah, he's one of the four souls.
Yeah, I beat the living fuck into him easy. He was quite a wimp.
He is a piece of piss, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was like,
when you're massively overpowered with your huge sword.
Zweihander.
Yeah, the Zweihander.
Oh, in that game, right? I agree that the sword is overpowered, but if you miss with that sword, you get fucking punished if you can. Like, with Gwyn, I miss him or attack too many times, and he would fuck me up easily.
See for a game that's like legendarily difficult. All of the achievements in here are under a 4.0 ratio, which means they're generally quite gettable.
The issue I guess the thing with Dark Souls, like any RPG, is if you fucking just over level, you probably find it a lot easier.
That's true.
Yeah,
But for reference, one of the 4 or 5 achievements I'm missing in Dead Rising 4's main game is a 9.89 ratio, which is.
I had something from True Achievements before, because it's True Achievements, True Trophies, isn't there? But I had something, and it was saying, "No, your hardest achievement you've ever earned," and I'm trying to think what that was.
Because you can go on and have a look. You can go on and have a look at what the hardest one you've ever got. I think my one will be something from one of the Guitar Hero games.
Mine would.
Oh, it's an achievement called the Orchestra Pit from Rare Replay, is what it is.
The hell is that?
And so you have to listen to all of the top secret tunes, but you only unlock the tunes by getting stamps from the games. And there are 30 games that have 10 stamps in each of them, so you need to basically finish, I think, 27 out of 30 games to get it.
Ah, right, yeah, I haven't got that.
And some of them, like some of the games, you only get the stamps by getting achievements in the Xbox 360 games themselves, if that makes sense. And some of them are rock solid, so it's not actually difficult, it's just, it takes ages to get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why achievements are nonsense.
Yeah, I must admit, I've never really bought into the whole achievements thing. I just don't care about them at all. Like, one of the first things I always do on any system, if the option is there, is just disable notifications. I genuinely don't care. And it's even games that I love and I've put like hundreds of hours into. I'll have done hardly any of the achievements because, well, the things I like about them are the things I do when I'm playing the game. I'm not going to go out of my way to do some arbitrary set of requirements that you've put in place for some random achievement.
Yeah.
I kind of settled somewhere in the middle after a while, so that I got really into them for a bit, and then I kind of fell out with them, and then I kind of got into the point where I was like, right, well, if I'm enjoying the game, I'll play through and I'll get them. But then I've put something like 2,500 hours into Rock Band 4, and I still haven't finished all the achievements on that. So it's just like
I'm looking now at Pedz' Xbox story, and my first ever achievement was for killing the first boss in Smash TV, which doesn't say how many people done that. My rarest achievement is Explorer in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare, which was unlocked by 1,933 players.
Nice.
My first game completion was Uno for the Xbox 360.
I never finished that.
And my slowest game completion, this is going to be good for you. Oh, my fastest game completion was MPK 2K6 in less than 5 minutes.
Where are you seeing that?
It's literally called My Xbox Story.
Is that a website?
No, it's on True Achievements.
Oh, is it?
I'm trying to look at mine now.
There's my slowest game completion. Right, guys, this just don't worry about how long it took. Right, it was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and it took me 2,679 days, 4 hours and 59 minutes.
I think I can beat that, and I'm gonna because I recently went back and finished Dig Dug.
Oh shit!
I think it's more than that. I don't know where to find this My Xbox Story thing on True Achievements though.
So you go on the My Links thing at the top right, and then at the bottom there's a thing called My Xbox. I just got onto
my rarest game completion is Gunstar Heroes, which was done by 6,001 players.
Not bad. So my first achievement was Cluster Buster on Hexic.
Nice. I was going to say, just talking about Dead Rising, my first achievement is from Dead Rising.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
My rarest achievement is called Intermediate Racer from Spider-Man 3, unlocked by 941 players.
Ooh. I'm going to go play it now just to get her. Just to be a dick.
My first game completion was FIFA 06 Road to FIFA World Cup in March 2006.
It's a classic.
My fastest game completion is also NBA 2K6 because apparently that game is pathetic.
I don't know. I think you had to just get finish a game or something. It was like
it must have been.
Avatar was another one, wasn't it? You just beat a person to death.
I thought it would be Avatar because it's literally just go in and do it, and it's done in like 2 minutes flat.
Yeah.
I don't think this works properly because apparently my first game completion was Sonic the Hedgehog, and the completion date is today. Now, I've not played on my Xbox for about 10 years. And apparently, it says slowest game completion, Sonic the Hedgehog, which apparently took me 4,892 days.
You've beaten me by about 100 days. My slowest game completion is Dig Dug in 4,770 days, 11 hours and 31 minutes.
I'm gonna go back to my first game and finish it now.
I think that's probably the time between when I played it and today.
Yeah, I would have thought so. The rarest game on the 360 I've completed is Rock Band. Apparently, only 813 people have completed that.
Yeah,
I'm quite proud of that.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, I haven't got anything particularly amazing on my rarest game completion for the Xbox One is Life is Strange, which 52,899 players have finished it.
Mine's just Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones, completed by 158 players, but I'm reasonably sure only 158 players bought the game because it's incredibly easy.
Yeah, because isn't there like a list of people put out of easy games to get 1,000 points?
Night Jawa.
See if you go into any of the Double Dragon games and change their setting, just change all the settings, you'll get 700 points out of 1,000, and that's for 2 minutes of play.
What?
Nice.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just pathetic. My most played game on the Xbox One is Rock Band 4, and I've played it for 33 days, 14 hours and 20 minutes.
That's disgusting.
Time well spent.
But mine was Borderlands 2 at 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Never really got into the bone.
Borderlands I enjoy, but again I played them in co-op. And it depends on the people playing with, because I played it with Jasmine as well, and he wasn't enjoying it, so kind of just wasn't that fun. When I played with my brother-in-law, and we played through, had a laugh, shooting shit, stuff, it was more enjoyable. And that's not a dig at Jasmine, because I've had fun playing through Resi 5 and 6 with him and various other games. It was more, I think, if the person you're playing it with is really not enjoying it, then it's obviously not going to be as fun then as two people who are enjoying it.
You don't get that same kind of buzz out of it.
Though we did get the scissoring sound effect from there, so...
Lovely.
Cora's like, what the fuck is that? Not what you think it is.
I'm in a bit of wonder.
It's not what you think it is, probably, maybe.
Here's an interesting stat. I'm still looking at this True Achievements thing. Apparently, the value of games that I have played, estimated from launch prices, is 6,252 quid.
Oof.
Oh,
it's impressive. Mine's only 1,000, but then
I would be genuinely. I'm really genuinely interested. So More Heat Than Light on GR has over 700,000 achievement points.
Well, you should be able to find his story on you if you look. Maybe, I think. And
I wonder.
How do you know the money you spent?
You don't. I think that's just a.
It's the value. Mine is.
There's a website you can go to that does the same for your Steam library. It basically says, based on launch prices, this is how much your Steam library is worth.
Yeah, your games. Right, for my games completed, I've literally completed 18. I'm assuming that's achievement by like all 100. Yeah. DLC has completed 23. Completion percentage is 28.61, which is more than I expected. Total install size of games 3,001 gigabytes.
Oof.
And total value of games is £13,970.
That's not bad.
So apparently I've completed 80 games, 29 DLCs, and my total completion percentage is 66.37%.
That's impressive.
I'm not being funny. I'm so disappointed that you didn't go to 69. If it was 69, I think you'd have been the best player in the world.
I know.
Keep it there.
But I know that my Xbox One completion is like 85 or something like that. So the Xbox 360 is really bringing the.
It's letting you down.
I should be getting back to some Xbox games, Xbox 360 games.
You know, I actually bought a load of them at the start of the year on the cheap, just like BioShock 2 and various other games that I started but never finished.
Does it include playing if you complete a 360 game on the Xbox One, does that come for Xbox One completage or Xbox 360 completage. This is
Counts
the
for
game or the
360.
console. It does go for the game.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I wanted to know.
So if I started and finished Dead Rising 2 on the bone, it would count towards the 360 completion.
That's basically what you're saying, isn't it? It's not that you want to play through Dead Rising 2 with me, it's you want to use me for your achievements.
Oh yeah.
You
know Like the Dead Rising series is one that I've always been dead into, and I would really, really like to actually finish off all the achievements on all of the games, and I'm not that far away. I'm only missing like 15 across the whole series or something.
I can help you on the games that I can help you in, but I can't help you on the first one because it's not co-op.
No, the first one, the only achievements I'm missing in the first one, I'd like two that require me to have the Xbox on for 14 hours without turning it off. And that way I need to really work up to that.
How long will it take you to complete the game if you just take your time and try and get everything done? From scratch?
It's got a set timer.
The
actual game itself is only like 7 hours, but the last two I'm missing are for like the survival mode. Which is just ridiculously difficult. See, Grum says Dead Rising 2 and co-op is good fun. I don't know if that is the case or not because I don't have that many friends to play it with.
I'll play through with you at some point if you want. According to True Trophies, I have a completion rate of 61.19% across 410 games. Nice combinations.
That's not bad at all. That's really strong.
Does that include games that don't have trophies? Because obviously with the PlayStation, when it first came, PlayStation 3 came out, no games are trophies. So if you've played that, does that somehow get added to the list? Because it just does, or is it some way on True Trophies they've excluded it? Because every game on the Xbox 360 has achievements. There is no an achievement game.
My understanding is it'll only track games with trophies because they'll be the ones that are noted on the site.
That's cool.
It's quite smart actually the way that it works. It's quite sharp.
Well, True Achievements used to be a thing on the dashboard, didn't it? You could stick it up on the side, then you'd have the achievements on the side of the Xbox One screen. So when you play in the game, your screen is a little bit smaller where you play. But on the left hand side, you had the achievements, and then they would give a description on how to do it easier. Whereas I think Microsoft added their own achievement system now, which I don't think is as good. Just tells you what the achievement is, but without any tips.
I think it's very similar. I think there's a similar thing on it now. Even now, like you can go in and put up like your next 3 or 4 achievements needed, using the Xbox dashboard. I don't really bother with that because I like to actually see my screen. But,
no, that's fair enough. But I just know there was a thing. I don't use them.
Yeah, no, I remember it. But I wasn't I went through a period of about 10 years of just not playing games really at all, and it's only in the last 12, 18 months I've really got back into it.
Fair enough.
I was going to say, I was just looking at this Xbox achievements thing, and the last achievement I earned for any Xbox game was in 2011.
Oh, wow.
So,
a couple of years ago.
It's been a while. It doesn't feel like that long ago,
No, thing, innit? But the music seems to have stopped. There you go, jingling again.
Was music? I didn't even realise there was music playing. Or was that just on the stream?
Yes, I can hear it in the stream, can you hear it? No, that's the way it is, man. If you listen to it back, you listen to the jolly Christmas vibes. It's Christmas music playing.
Oh, wonderful.
Beating PlayStation 3 Uncharted on Crushing, which I've done on PlayStation 4. But that's on the PlayStation 4 video.
Like some games have releases on both consoles. So like Resident Evil 6, for example. If you buy the Xbox One version of that game, then they'll track towards the Xbox One. If you buy the Xbox 360 version of the game, they'll track towards the 360. And you can earn essentially the same achievement twice if you are so inclined.
Which you did, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely not. I've never done that. No, that's a lie. I've done that once by accident because I didn't understand that was the case, and I bought Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the bone, thinking, "Oh, brilliant! I'll just finish the last 5 or 6 achievements off that I need." And then I started it, and it was like, you have earned this 5-point achievement, and I'm like, no, but yeah. So I ended up having to go through that again. I didn't have to go through it again. I just did go through it again because I'm quite sad like that.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with playing games that you enjoy. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I've not really played. I think I've got them on Steam, 1 and 2, but I haven't played them.
Strongly recommend. They're sort of dungeon crawly, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Kind of Diablo-esque then.
Kind of. There is a style of game that it falls under, but I don't know what that style of game is called. Basically, just that you have a team of 4, and they all have different powers, and you have to kill loads and loads and loads of enemies. It's like RPGA, but not quite RPGA. If that makes sense. The X-Men Legends game.
RPG, is it action RPG?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of a action RPG, something like that.
There's too many genres these days.
It is
too complicated.
It was easier back in the day when it was 2D platformer. Well, sorry, platformer, non-platformer. That's what it was.
That's all you need to know.
Life is so much more difficult nowadays.
I know. Oh, so hard. Just getting the genre right on a game. Jesus Christ. I'm going grey with all these genres. Sorry, Cora, I'm rubbing in a bit there now. Anyway.
Pretty much how I feel about it.
Speaking of this year, right? Because we've completely diverged off topics, which we didn't really have any set. I'm trying to think what we were actually talking about. You were on about Perfect Dark, I remember that.
That's about the last time we were anywhere on topic.
Yeah.
Assuming that we're not going to get another one of these recorded this year, should we give our favourite game of the year?
Yeah, I would like to do a bit of favourite game, talk about our favourite games of the year. The issue is I gotta try and remember what games I've played from this year. But like I can't see us doing another one. I wouldn't know if you'd want to talk about next year either as well, or leave that till next year.
Yeah, maybe do one at the start of next year, just kind of looking forward.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to get one done before Christmas to look back at the year in general about certain things like news, games, any specific games about things, and so on and so forth. And then another one after the new year. But I was hoping, as it was mentioned by I think it was Drummy, like, oh, why didn't everyone get together and just have like a fucking bit of a blowout kind of thing? I thought that would be cool. And then only 2 people arrived out of about the 12 I asked. It wasn't 12 on my end. So yeah, but yeah.
It
so
was more.
no, I think there was yourself, Jenuall, Carl, Matt, Victor, Devlin is in the PM chain. I'm not sure who else, but there's a lot of people in there. I think Taff was. Kerr 9000 may have been. I think he may have been removed from there because I think he asked at the time. He had family, not family, but like in real life stuff. I think at the time. So, you know.
Fair enough, really.
Yeah, and the thing is like several of the people I put into the DM chain because they were in the GRcade podcast with Carl and stuff, and
yeah.
And that was enjoyable, and like there's been people who's been on the podcast who's not been in the Twitchcast, which is a shame, really. This would be good to hear from them and their views on certain aspects of things, as it's been a while, you know. But real life comes first, you know.
Absolutely, but it would be nice. It would be nice to see a few more people popping on, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That means anyone who was actually a part of the GRcade forum, if you want to join us any week, you can. All you have to do is just let me know so I can get an avatar for you on the thing. Like Jenuall's face and Cora's face, I did them myself.
They are lovely.
That isn't actually my face.
Yeah, it is.
You mean you're not an anthropomorphic cat?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Alright, okay, that's all I need to do.
My VTuber stuff going.
Carl, Site 23 uses a cat avatar as his streaming face. Honestly.
He does indeed.
Yeah. I used to use a pumpkin.
He actually does, yeah.
Yeah, I used to use a pumpkin. I miss my pumpkin.
A pumpkin?
Yeah. A pumpkin. It had big, sharp teeth.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, you're looking about 5 years ago I was doing that. Right, so what are your games of the year this year? Do you want to talk about your favourite game or just a couple of games that resonated with your favourite let's spoke about last? It's up to you, I don't mind.
I'm struggling to narrow it down from 3 anyway, so...
Well, go then.
Yeah.
Well, as you got 3 to talk about, you may as well start, man.
So, the first one is it's not left field, but like I think it disappointed quite a few people, and I loved it because I thought it was very similar to the original, Resident Evil 3. Like, obviously I'm a massive fanboy as well, so that doesn't really help, but you know that way, I thought it was just a genuinely really fun, tough action game. And like there were bits where it could have done better and stuff like that, but overall I thought it did exactly what it was supposed to do and was a genuinely enjoyable game. So that was one that I thought maybe. And then there was Tony Hawk's, the remake of Tony Hawk's, which like was just genuinely the strongest game of that genre that's been released in about 15 years. And then Doom Eternal, which we've spoken about already, which I thought was probably just about takes it for me as game of the year. I thought it was genuinely brilliant.
Great game.
But yeah, those are my 3. I can't 100% decide between them as to which one I like.
Which one was the last one? Did you say? Sorry.
Doom.
Doom Eternal. Yeah, that's fair enough. So then, what was it that you would say puts them on top for you? But in general, like especially Doom, because I loved
Doom is just it just plays really, really well. It takes the original from 2016. Now, I know at least one person on GR would disagree with this, but I thought it took Doom 2016. I know you know who I mean as well. I thought it took Doom 2016 and bettered it in every conceivable way. Like, I went back to Doom 2016 after playing Eternal, and it, like, what was at the time an insanely quick, brutal game, just felt completely pedestrian.
Yeah.
Because Eternal, it kind of, what it changed about the gameplay was quite subtle, but at the same time, like completely game changing, if that makes sense. All the stuff like making the chainsaw more prevalent, adding the different sort of like different power ups and different rewards for doing different actions.
Kept by Bees. Sorry.
It just worked. Hello, Kept by Bees. It really, really worked. And I wasn't expecting it to, because I'd heard a few mixed opinions.
Yeah, I heard that several people were, but most people I heard, most of what I heard was it's not as good as Doom. It's for some reason it doesn't do things as well, but from what footage I've seen of it, which isn't much, it looks like it just does the same as Doom. But
I think there's
more
I can see what some people are saying when they think it doesn't work as well, or they say, because it's when you're playing the game, it's big. As a core, it is a very similar experience to Doom 2016. They haven't kind of reinvented the wheel, but when you're playing through it, it feels that some of the changes are quite subtle and they kind of drip feed them in. But by it's only a few levels in, and actually the way it works is quite different to 2016, which you don't necessarily realize if you're just watching it. It's when you're actually playing it, kind of the rhythms of it. It's much more, it's kind of almost you can boil it down to sort of, it's like a resource management thing. It's all about, right, when do I need to chainsaw someone? When do I need to use my flame belch to get some armor? When do I need to kind of, it's all about balancing things in a way that 2016 was simpler in terms of, well, you run, you shoot, you do your glory kill, and then kind of repeat. Whereas this, there's a few more, things you have to factor in, which I can get why some people didn't like that, because they wanted the purity of what 2016 did. But for me, it just made the whole thing so much more satisfying when you're in kind of the zone. It just feels incredible. The kind of and Cora, like you're saying, you go back to 2016 now and it feels pedestrian. It feels really slow. Whereas in this, you're just constantly on your toes. You're moving. It's just a few subtle changes that make the whole thing just feel that much better, in my opinion. So
yeah, and it's insane when you think about it. Like when you played through Doom 2016 for the first time, if someone came to you and said, "You will like the sequel to this game will make this game feel slow as hell," you'd have laughed them. You'd have laughed them out of the room. But it really is just. It's an incredible achievement, and I don't know if you've played the DLC. I'm assuming you've played the DLC, Jen.
I've still not got to it. No, I've heard good things about that as well. So.
Really, really strong. I know a lot of people don't really like Doom's lore and stuff like that. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I love the stuff they've added in with all the like the angel-looking things and all that. I really, really enjoyed it. The DLC kind of takes that even further, which is good. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Doom Eternal. I think it's absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say just on the lore. It does go. This Eternal goes a bit harder on the lore than 2016 did, even though it's still very light touch for the most part, and you can still largely just ignore it. There are a few more kind of like cutscenes, but again, I'm pretty sure you can just skip them if you're not interested. So a few people kind of leveled that complaint about it in terms of 2016 got a lot of praise for just kind of making fun of the idea that you could even bother trying to put story into these games, even though they actually did kind of put quite a lot of lore in there. Whereas I think some people thought, well, they kind of went back on that in Eternal a bit too much. But I'm like you, Cora. I actually really like the lore that they put into this, and many games I don't bother reading any of the kind of collectibles that you pick up. Whereas in this, I was going around the levels trying to find all of the lore pickups, trying to read it all, because I think they for me kind of walked the line between poking fun at themselves whilst still managing to actually have a bit of a backstory to it.
No, I would agree with that, and I think it did a really, really good job of kind of walking that line between parody and earnestness. Earnestness, is that a word? I don't know.
It is now.
But just generally have not been able to find a way to fault Doom Eternal at all. It's just like the only thing I didn't like about it was I found the Marauders to be a pain in the ass, but that's more my lack of skill than their bad design.
I think that again, quite a few people have leveled the complaint about the Marauders in terms of, because it is pretty, even though they've made the core kind of gameplay loop a bit more complex, for the most part you can still just get through anything by shooting it a lot. If you shoot something a lot, it will die. Yep. Whereas the Marauder, there is a bit more that you have to approach it in a specific way, which I kind of guess some people think, well, I don't want to have to think about it, I just want to hit fire. But for me, I quite like them. There's not, they only turn up a handful of times.
I think there's like 6 or 7 in the whole game, and a couple of them are optional as well.
Yeah. So, but it's one of those where, for me, like you say, I struggle to find fault with it. But at the same time, I can understand why some people did kind of bounced off it effectively. But
I think that's fair. That's fair. I'm just seeing Kept by B saying the Tony Hawk remake is great. They were worried after the HD version, but they nailed it. I think everyone was a bit like that. The HD, I don't know if anyone's played the HD version, but it's appalling. I think there was a rights issue or something like that, and they basically just sort of shat something out because they absolutely had to keep hold of the Tony Hawk rights, and it was just guff. And this has come out and been an absolute revelation of a game.
Like, Tony Hawk remake, though, from what I played of it, and what the sounds of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was like, I think that was still the better game. The Tony Hawk HD. In comparison to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 that came out with like one bit on the disc and everything else download. And,
I think it had been a while since they did a good Tony Hawk's game. So.
But by all accounts, Tony Hawk's 5 is the worst, like the worst sports game ever made, let alone the worst Tony Hawk's game. Project 8 was bad as well, so yeah, I think the last genuinely good Tony Hawk's game before this was probably American Wasteland, and that was about 2005.
Wow. A long while, man.
But yeah, like this remake is just really it's strong. It's kind of tweaked. It's quite similar to Doom Eternal. It's tweaked the Tony Hawk series physics just enough to make it feel fresh, but not enough to like turn it crap. And it works. And there are something like 750 challenges in it, so you'll be playing it till the end of time. Yeah, just really fun. Discarded Pine 13. What is going on there? Sorry, that's completely distracted me.
I want to watch the Cyberpunk World Record speedrun.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of bug that just skips to the end.
Okay. I want to watch it,
but I don't want to click on it.
Neversoft's involvement with Tony Hawk ended quite early on, I think.
I think they made the first 3 or 4 games, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I think American Wasteland might have been their last.
Which was the one you said was the last good one.
Yeah, so like they did the first, so they did Tony Hawk's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they did Underground 2, maybe something else, then American Wasteland, and then I think Project 8 was the next one after that.
Proving Ground was the last.
When did Proving Ground come out? And on
How
what
many
console?
of them have there been?
About 13?
At least 4.
Just looking up now, Proving Ground was 2007 apparently.
Right, okay, so Proving Ground would have been the last. It came out after Project. When did Project 8 come out? I thought Project 8 was about 2009, 2010.
So that's 2006 according to this.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Project 8 was the one that Project 8 was the one that had the stupid board peripheral, wasn't it? Or was that Tony Hawk's 5?
No, I thought that was that other one you just mentioned, Project 8. Oh, modded.
We got him.
Grum. Yeah. Can't be spamming your bloody stuff in other people's streams. That's just rude. Stop it, you naughty person. Come in. Hey, post a link. It's just watch it. It's like, no, you can't do that.
It's a Rickroll. Excuse me.
I haven't been Rickrolled.
Rickroll? That's even worse. Jesus Christ. What were we back in 2003?
Once recorded for a podcast, for the Games Radar podcast.
I guess they're an American then. Because they said mom.
They could be from Birmingham.
It could be, but I think we should just get rid.
That's the end. That's the end of him.
Anyway, douchebags aside.
I hope you Billy and Rick roll the fuck right out of here. Very hard.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I haven't played the new Tony Hawk's HD remaster thingy. I haven't played Doom Eternal. What was the third game you said?
Resi 3.
I haven't played Resi 3 either. I've only recently finished Resi 2, so
you know what? I really
3's...
enjoyed watching you play that.
Well, I played it, and then my very last stream, no one fucking was there. Two hours of fucking me and Clay together, and not a single other person was there to watch it.
What time did you stream at?
8 in the evening. It was. I started early, and I think I ended at 10. And just thought, fuck this shit. I was gonna stream more stuff, but as no one was there, I just didn't see the point.
I have a feeling I was streaming that night myself.
I think you were, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have been right in on it.
No, that's fair enough.
I've got no excuse. But
yeah, no one ever watches my streams anyway.
I do. I just lurk a lot of the time.
No, you don't. Your name would come up in my viewer list.
Not if you put your status on hidden or whatever it is.
I wouldn't know.
I hope that's what happened.
I wouldn't know. I can't see my viewer list is covered when I stream. I don't like looking at it.
Have you seen? I don't know if you've barely seen the Tony Hawk documentary that came out either earlier this year or last year. But like Tony Hawk is he's always been really invested in the games, and I think that when they got shit, it genuinely affected him. Mm-hmm. So he's probably absolutely buzzing that the latest one's not crap.
Jenuall are hiding from us. Crumb is probably genuinely upset as well. Crumb is such a soul of pure heart.
Yeah, he's such a kind-hearted fellow.
And he probably crying now.
Well, I'm hoping that he's being honest with the crying emoji there, because otherwise that's he's being deceitful.
No, you've ruined him essentially.
2020 all over.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it was going so well until that point.
Exactly. You just spoiled everything for Grum. Grum has had a great year. I think I saw someone behind the scene feature with him talking about the latest game. See, I literally know nothing about it. I remember seeing the announcement of Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remastered, or whatever it's called. And I thought, this looks good. But I was also thinking at the same time, how fudged will it be? And then I've heard that it's actually genuinely good, which is great. Because my favourite Tony Hawk's game was 3, Pro Skater 3. Yeah.
I genuinely don't understand why they didn't put 3 into the HD remake. The latest HD remake, because it's a phenomenal game. I can only assume
they'll do 3 and 4.
Like 3 and 4, yeah.
What I've heard, I think you may have told me this, or someone else may have told me this, Cora, is they rescanned the people who were in the games originally, but didn't de-age them, so it's like 50-year-old skating guy, like really old looking dudes.
It's so weird. So like, there's one of them, I think it's Steve Caballero, who's always been quite short and stocky, and now he's just like he looks like my granda. Like a proper 60-year-old guy just rolling about with this red and black jumper on. It's so strange.
I wonder how many characters they won't be able to include due to the actual character, the people dying, because I think wasn't it Bam from fucking what's it called, Bam Margera or something?
Bam Margera, yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, I thought he passed away.
No, it was his big mate, Ryan Dunn.
Right, it was Ryan Dunn. Yeah, so it's like I wonder how many. Oh fucking hell! On skateboard.
In a Porsche, to be fair, I don't think
he'd probably get away with a skateboard hitting the track. That shouldn't.
Oh well, I don't know.
But yeah, I think Ryan Dunn dying probably hit Bam quite hard because they were like best mates, and Bam ended up getting arrested in Glasgow. He was doing I don't know if they do like comedy tours or if they just stand up and speak about their lives for an hour or what, but he was doing one of them. And he went out after it and ended up getting so drunk, I think he just lay down in the middle of the street and ended up spending a night in some cells somewhere in Glasgow city centre. And that's been like his he's been doing that all over the place for the last few years, I think.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. You hate to see it.
No, yeah, definitely. He went off the rails trying to disown his own parents on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he went a bit I think he's. I don't think he's so bad now, but I think that like Dunn died in about 2011, 2012ish, and I think the next few years after that were just an absolute haze for the guy.
That sucks. Anyway, let's go back to Happy.
Yeah.
You know, we don't. Every time we talk about something, all of a sudden, fucking it ends up being really fucking sad for some reason, or
It's
just sad, or
yeah.
I know. Reflecting on the year, started off pretty shitty and ended pretty shitty. Unfortunately, the podcast hopefully hasn't been shitty from start to finish.
Some highlights in there.
Yeah,
we do what we can.
Yeah. We're not trained professionals, so you get what you pay for, and as you're not paying for anything, you get shit.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Pay peanuts and all that.
Where's my shades? So I can put them on once while I'm saying deal with it. Not that anyone can see it. Why do you think Resi 3 was disliked compared to 2 then? With the remake?
They ran a bit low on development time, and instead of adding in a load of kind of optional extras or different scenarios or stuff like that, what they did was they added in some difficulty modes that were insane.
Right.
So like there's there's easy, normal, hard, and then there's like very hard and extremely hard. I don't know what they're actually called. I think the top one's called Inferno mode. And they're extremely difficult. So like if a zombie grabs you, you will die. There is no messing about with that. But you can spend like the credits you get for completing the game, you can spend them on stuff like health regeneration coins and stuff like that. So it renders all the difficulty of the harder modes moot, except for a couple of like stupidly, needlessly frustrating bits. And it's like it felt a little bit half-baked, and there was a section removed from the actual game itself that people weren't too happy about, the clock tower bit. But for me, I think it was still strong enough to stand on its own merit as a very good kind of A-tier game, if that makes sense. And it's one that I've periodically gone back and replayed.
As this one of your favourite games of the year, then how was the online side of it?
I never played the online side of it. I've literally only done I think that was another thing as well. Like the Resi guys keep thinking that the game is somehow suitable for online multiplayer, and nobody likes it. Nobody's ever liked it.
No.
And they keep bringing it out.
There has to be some kind of mods that would work well multiplayer-wise, some kind of Resi, but I wouldn't know what. Like 5 and 6, I think the only reason why multiplayer was added, co-op was added there, was so the other person wouldn't want to actually go out and kill people after playing the game.
Like the co-op modes are great, and I love co-op modes, but it's more it's like, you know, that Gears of War mode where people play as the Locust, or in Left 4 Dead when you play as the zombies. It's that essentially, but for Resident Evil, and it's like I don't think people are really playing the series for that at this point. I don't think there's a big enough audience for that.
Feels almost like it's like a box ticking type of thing. So every game's got to have some kind of online multiplayer components.
It's understandable why a lot of companies do it though, because a lot of people won't buy games if they don't, because they're like, well, I'm going to play this once, finish the story, and never touch it again. And I think companies are probably worried about people buying their games outright from the start if they feel like there's no longevity there. Yeah. So, but it doesn't. I don't know.
In this case, I think it caused a little bit of resentment because people were like, "Well, you've been making this game, or you've made this big multiplayer bollocks, when you could have been adding additional stuff to the single player." But again, for me, it was still good enough. So
it's meant to be very short, though, isn't it?
It's my best time is something like 57 minutes.
Nice.
That's not a brag or anything. It's that's not a fantastic time. It's just a really, really short game once you've got the hang of it. I quite like speed runs and stuff like that, so it doesn't bother me as much as it probably bothers your average normal person. But like I'm quite big into speedrunning, and specifically Resident Evil speedrunning, so I'm quite interested to see how that kind of develops in Nemesis. In fact, it's not even called Nemesis; it's just called Resident Evil 3. But yeah, I'm for it. Whereas I think a lot of people will quite rightly be against it.
I remember watching or reading something many moons ago that Resident Evil 3 was actually meant to be a spin-off game, and Code Veronica was meant to be Resident Evil 3. Because PlayStation / Sony had a contract with Capcom saying that 1, 2, and 3 has to be on the PlayStation, they then just called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis then. And obviously Code Veronica was then just called Resident Evil Code Veronica, but that is meant to be 3, where you carry on the game as
understanding of it, that they were both envisioned as spin-offs, and they didn't actually have a firm Resident Evil 3 in place. And then they obviously whatever happened, and it became Resident Evil 3. But I don't know what the kind of true story is there.
I'm not sure. I can understand why Resi 3 Nemesis would be seen more as a spin-off, as you're back in Raccoon City, just not doing the same stuff, but you're back in the places you've been. I think, and now it takes place during Resi 2. Whereas obviously Code Veronica, it fucks off and progresses the story with, like, you see Wesker again. I did say Code Veronica, didn't I? You see Wesker again. You meet Chris and Clay actually meet up. You find out more about like the viruses and together. You can understand why if was meant to be 3, you could understand why people would consider it to be more than 3. If that makes sense. But obviously not, because they.
I see Code Veronica's been getting a bit of a pounding recently for apparently there's some wildly transphobic stuff.
Isn't there the one?
There's the one character who dresses up as his sister. And it's written as a kind of like the guy is literally just a bit insane, and I think it's meant to be transphobic. I haven't got a clue. Again, I'm not trans, so my view is going to be different to someone who is. But I think it's meant to be the guy, his sister was like locked away with some kind of T-virus for something like 13 years, and he was a kid, and I think it affected him mentally. So he he had like a split personality, himself and his sister. So I don't think it's meant to be some kind of.
I think it was specifically something said in the game where he's like someone makes reference to that and basically calls him a freak or something like that.
I've not played it since it came out, but I can't really remember. But I would not be surprised if it didn't handle it particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, the game is that old that these things probably weren't even considered when it came out.
No, but it may have, but again, it may not be that it's because he was dressed as a woman. It may have been because he was fucking mental. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the guy was a transgender in that sense. It seemed like that he had some kind of weird split personality thing going on from where he was basically traumatized as a child, I think. So I think but it has been a long time since I've seen anything to do with that game, so I could be completely fucking wrong.
Still never played it.
Oh, it's a good game.
For someone who lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps Resident Evil, it's probably a massive oversight.
How can you not have played even on the Xbox?
I
it disgusts me. You're not a true fan.
I know.
It was my favourite in the series for quite a long time. Code Veronica.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But part of that,
fucking
like-
hard though, some parts. Like,
Yeah, it was
damn
hard.
fucking tyrant on a fucking aeroplane.
I did think part of my love for it was just to try and justify buying a Dreamcast, but
I think one of my favorite things of Code Veronica was Chris comes along, fucking armed to the teeth, climbing up this cliff all fucking manly and I'm gonna do this shit, and then drops everything. He's just like, oh, I've got anything left. This is like,
yeah.
Alexia is the end boss. She definitely exists.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, we know.
The issue's all surrounding Alfred. Alfred Ashford.
Yeah, we know she exists. No one said any different, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No.
It's something Claire. I'm sure it's something Claire says to.
I can't remember. I don't know what the context. Like, is it taken in context to the game? Is it taken out of context to the game? Or is it just something that is genuinely offensive? Because it could very well be whatever the context. But I think it's simply because the guy is fucking insane. But again, it's been... I think I last played it when it first came out on GameCube. But
Yeah.
I only played it for a little bit and then stopped playing it. So, it's been a long time.
Aye, fair enough.
So yeah, I can't really comment about about that sort of thing, but I just remember that guy was insane. I think he's like one of the Spencer kids or something, maybe? I can't remember.
I think the storyline of it is something like the Ashford family are either related directly to the Spencer family or like were co-founders of Umbrella with the Spencers or something. Grum, Code Veronica is the game where it's possible to miss something and make it impossible to complete. And I don't know exactly how you do that, but a friend of mine fell out with it on quite a spectacular basis.
So when are you gonna be playing through Code Veronica then, Cora?
Yeah, sounds like that should be on the list.
Yeah,
No, I am currently on a game buying ban after massively overspending this year, but
it's got to be like £1.
you know what? I've got it on the GameCube.
Just play it then.
As soon as I figure out how to get the GameCube hooked up to OBS and whatnot, I will play through it, because I should do really.
You should. You got no excuses.
No.
You got no excuse not to play it.
No excuses.
There's no excuse to not play it. Play it. Not play it. You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Play
Don't
the
worry,
fucking
I've
game.
got you.
Play the fucking game.
I was going to do it. I was going to try and do it as part of the 24-hour stream.
You would probably
if I
spend
got
most of the
to-
time on that, to be fair, simply because it would have been new.
You know,
Not because it's a really long game, but because it would have been new.
It's
Whereas
new.
the other ones
Yeah.
you would have experienced, so it would have been.
well, I ended up crashing something rotten and spending nearly 9 hours on Resident Evil 4. And
I don't think I spent that long on the first completion.
I've never spent that long on the game. But you know that way, like, I think because I'd already been playing for like 10, 12 hours or whatever it was, I just I wanted to sleep so badly.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I've never streamed for that long.
I
like-
don't recommend it.
But just like when I was younger, a lot younger, you'd stay up for like days playing games, like a day or so, just playing on the Saturn.
Yeah.
I remember.
You've got people with you, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think that
Saturn.
would help with streaming in general, really.
Yeah.
I think Cora, if he had people with him talking to me, would have helped than him just streaming to no one. But
Well, the idea was to have my brother with me.
right.
And like that was the kind of setup for it. Like, and one of the reasons why I did it was because it would have been cool just to have the two of us sitting on the couch playing Resident Evil, like the good old
To be
days.
fair, though, as
and
your
then
brother
obviously
couldn't-
coronavirus took
as
care
you-
of it.
As your brother couldn't turn up, you could have at least fucking had Loki with him.
Oh, he stays with my brother.
Well, you could have just stolen him.
Locked out.
I know.
Just been like, If you can't come, Loki's coming.
I need to get him on stream.
You do?
Definitely, yeah.
Oswald Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford founded Umbrella. The Ashford family fell out of favour with Umbrella after a cock-up, if memory serves. There you are.
Yeah.
Happy days.
But yeah, the sister, I think, is injected with the T virus and is like locked up in a frozen thing. And if they kept alive for a certain amount of time, they become like the ultimate life form. And then she turned into a shadow, and you had to kill her.
The hedgehog, yeah.
I think the virus is called T Veronica or something, isn't it? And that's where
the T Veronica virus. Yeah.
Let's face it, none of it is ever going to make sense in these games. I think
nonsense to the highest order.
Yeah, just go along with it. That's the fun.
And that's why everyone loves her.
Yeah.
There's nothing finer than a game with a ludicrous plot.
She doesn't become an ant monster. Stop lying, Cupboardine. She becomes the ultimate life form, which is Shadow the Hedgehog. We know that from Sonic Adventure 1. Or 2. Sonic Adventure 2. Sorry.
2, yeah.
Or why I said Sonic Adventure 1. Sonic Adventure 1. Shadow doesn't even exist.
Is it his first Sonic game, Sonic Adventure 2?
Yeah.
T Veronica virus is based on Shadow DNA. There you go then.
Listen to this ant propaganda.
Yeah. Pro-ant slant.
Pro-ant slant.
Oh dear.
Oh Jesus. Anyway, we've asked Cora of his favorite game, and we had 3. I'm not complaining. I said say as many as you want. What about you, Jenuall?
That's a tricky one. So I put this on the forum when the topic came up on the forum. So I picked Doom Eternal as my game of the year.
Lovely.
Why
is that? I don't think anyone have mentioned Doom Eternal tonight.
No, yeah, it's been quiet on that front. But yeah, just again for all the reasons we said, it's something about the experience of playing it. There are lots of games you kind of get into the zone, and you kind of everything else sort of goes to the back of your mind, and this is all that matters. But yeah, it's the most extreme version of that I've played for a long time, where something you just feel so involved in what's happening.
Can I ask a question, actually? Didn't you say that you didn't enjoy Doom 2016 as much as most?
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed Doom 2016.
I'm sure I thought it was you who said like you loved it, but compared to the old games, like it just...
Oh no, so it's not gonna dethrone the old games in my affections, but the old games were, I've played 25 years of Doom stuff. It hasn't been out for 25 years. Yes, it has.
Yeah, 94, I think.
94, yeah. So and it was so Doom 2 was the first game we got on the very first PC that we kind of got as kids. Obviously, saying that sounds a bit strange because it's not really a kids game. But yeah,
I was playing Duke Nukem 3D when that came out, and I would have been young myself. When did that come out? 95?
95 or 6, I think. Yeah,
I would have been 10, 11.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Nice. It's all healthy, happy fun. But no, so there's something. The first 2 Doom games will always just be something very special for me. So nothing. It's not really a question of whether it's as good as those, because obviously it's a very different sort of game. But no, Eternal for me is significantly better than 2016. 2016 was really good, but yeah, there's just something else about Eternal that just makes it that extra step up for me. So that probably. So like I said, I can't remember when the topic came up on the forum. Now it's probably a few weeks ago now, and I kind of sort of put a response in there quite quickly, so I didn't really think about it that much. But I think Doom Eternal is probably still my game of the year. The only other things I think that would be contenders,
Cyberpunk.
Well, if Cyberpunk was the game it could be, it would definitely be up there.
Yeah, but you could say that about anything. If such and such game was the thing it could be.
If they, if it wasn't crap, it would be great. But they if the bugs weren't there, because the writing is really good. There, some of the quests.
Whoa! Don't be talking about bugs now. All bloody Cumberdines will come back and start off with his ant propaganda.
Yeah, there's impressive ant work going on in that game.
Propaganda.
Propaganda. Woo. Okay.
Enough of the banter.
Moving on. But no, like you can see, like I say, if they'd taken probably a minimum of an extra 6 months, it would have been to get it right. But if there wasn't so much getting in the way of why it's great, there's a lot there that would have made it a really good game. But yeah, it's not my game of the year at all.
That's
I think I did, because again on the forum there were, it's kind of pick your various categories, best graphics and stuff like that. I did put Cyberpunk in for best graphics because it looks phenomenal. Obviously not on PS4 and Xbox One. On the new consoles, I think it looks pretty good as well. But yeah, on PC, if you kind of turn all the settings up, it looks seriously impressive. But yeah, so no, Cyberpunk's not in the list. But
it looks decent on Nintendo DS. I enjoyed was it DS that had Chinatown
Nintendo
Wars?
DS is kind of what the PS4 version looks like at times. But
Brutal.
Yeah, not even 3DS, the original DS. But
By it's the original DS, he actually means Game & Watch. Sorry.
I was going to say, so Streets of Rage 4 was an incredible game, it's the same problem you have in Pedz. It's just trying to remember what I played in the year. But yeah, Streets of Rage 4 I really, really enjoyed. It's obviously a much simpler sort of game than like Cyberpunk or Doom Eternal, or it's kind of a bigger AAA type game. But I loved the Streets of Rage series back in the day. Streets of Rage 2 is probably it's probably tied with Sonic 2 for my favourite 16-bit game. So I loved.
I can understand Streets of Rage 2, but Sonic 3 is better than 2, so fuck you.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
I'm not.
We've had this discussion before, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm right.
Yeah, okay, fine. You can be, deluded. It's okay. Either way, Streets of Rage. Just Streets of Rage 4. It's just everything that was good about the old games. The graphics, the music, the gameplay. There's something about. Again, it's similar to Doom Eternal. There's something about the feel of those games.
I'm laughing
all
at
Sonic is shit. Harsh. Sonic Adventure 1 maybe, but not all Sonic.
Sonic Adventure's alright. Sonic Adventure 2's alright. Like Sonic Adventure, Sonic's and Tails levels are alright. But like when you add in the extra characters and Big the fucking cat, no.
The Knuckles level.
No, you're banned. But speaking of Duke Nukem, the guy who does Duke Nukem does Big the Cat's voice.
I did not know that.
That's
ruined a lot of things for me.
Yeah.
I want them to make a brand new Duke Nukem 3D game, a brand new Duke Nukem game, which is genuinely great, but all the voice acting is done with Big's voice.
There's got to be a mod that you can get to do that.
I can see my dick from up here.
I'm here
I
to
can
kick
see
cats
my
and chew bubblegum.
frog from up here. One thing that someone said at one point, let me say, I can't remember.
Fair enough. What was I saying?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
No,
you
we
barely.
don't want to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. There weren't any Sonic games. But so Streets of Rage 4, the feel of it, there's something about, because I remember watching someone did a video of this on YouTube. I can't remember now who it was, but like
Me.
No, probably not. But something about like the timing and the sort of the way it does things, about the way it puts like not slow motion, but the way the enemies react as you hit them. But there's something really that you just feel kind of the impact of kind of every punch and kick in the game. They just do something that a lot of people say, oh, there's better like scrolling beat 'em ups, and you need to play can't you like River City
Girls.
Ransom or
River City. River City Girls.
I'm not being funny. I prefer River City Girls myself to
well, you're wrong.
Streets of Rage 4. No, it's fucking amazing, man.
So and I've now, I've dabbled in those games, and I can see there's there's more going on in the games, but for me it doesn't nail the way Streets of Rage feels. Just the kind of that moment to moment of actually the action of beating up people in that game just feels so right. And yeah, so for me that's probably the only other contender.
Well, that's fair enough. But yeah, I enjoyed Streets of Rage 4. I played through with Grum. We had good fun playing it. Enjoyed it.
Grum should come on and talk about it.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's fucking brilliant. But I genuinely prefer River City Girls, which is surprising. But you do get to fight a Bobo, so you gotta love it.
I watched that Abobo fight. I watched somebody streaming the Abobo fight, and I'm not sure who it was, and it was absolutely hilarious.
It was me and Jasmine, wasn't it? Probably.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah. It was fucking brilliant. Beat him up. But yeah, obviously the Bobo was from Double Dragon, weren't they? Originally. Yes. But he's in there as well now. But yeah, like River City Girls is basically River City Ransom in reverse, in the sense of in River City Ransom you're playing as a guy whose missus gets kidnapped, and then in River City Girls it's the boyfriends who were kidnapped, which are the guys from River City Ransom.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4 was fun, as we had a lot. Sorry, I gotta do my Scottish accent.
Don't even.
Streets of Rage 4 was fun, as we had a laugh playing it together. There you go.
That sounded Polish.
I'm not doing I'm doing Grum's voice. I'm not doing Grum's voice. Streets of Rage 4 was fun, as we had a laugh together, but it had some proper cheap deaths. So there you go. Grum's word.
Grum had spoken.
Yeah, you should have joined the chat and said it instead of not, but yeah.
I was going to say that's the kind of like,
Groundskeeper Willie that
you're on by not coming in, but I don't like it. I just don't like it.
I'll have to every time Grum's. I'll have to do an accent for every single person who speaks and try and get as close as I can, because they're not in you.
They can't stand up for themselves. That's fine. You can take.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, like I said, Streets of Rage 4 is really good. I enjoyed playing through with Grum. I would like to play through it with 4 people just to have a go of it, but that hasn't happened because we just haven't got 4 people to do it. By that I mean is
what console do you play on?
Well, the thing is it is, but it's only multiplayer. Online is 2 players, local is 4. But with Steam's share play feature thingy, I can't remember what it's actually called, it acts as you're playing on offline multiplayer, but you're actually playing online. So that game, I have the game, me and 3 other people would play the game as 4 player in 4-player co-op. I did the same with Overcooked and Overcooked 2, played a bit of it online with people through the Steam share feature. Even though only I had the game.
Yeah. And
also Overcooked 1 isn't online. But Overcooked 2 is. Overcooked 2 was my game of the year and it didn't even come out this year. Fucking A. Wait, did only You Can Eat Edition come out this year? Because I'll just say that was my favourite game of the year, even though I haven't played it.
I don't know, I've only very briefly played Overcooked.
Fucking love Overcooked. Put over 100 hours into the second game on its own.
Fair play.
Love it.
Yep, you can't argue with that.
But so that's the only other game you can really think of from this year that you would say is a competitor for Game of the Year.
I mean, there's been other games I've enjoyed, like the Final Fantasy VII remake that came out quite a while ago now.
I've never been a massive fan of Final Fantasy VII, especially. I don't know why. I have said I would go back to the original, the non-remake then. OG version and play through it but I just don't.
It's a better game, the original, in my. So the original was for a long time my favourite game. So I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. But the remake's very good and it looks phenomenal for a PlayStation 4 game. That it's still released right at the tail end of the console. It looks amazing, and the music's really good, but it doesn't really know what it's doing with the story. It's kind of trying to have its cake and eat it by being a remake, but also they clearly wanted to say to the kind of the clearly for years people just wanted like a straight remake the game but with newer graphics, and they kind of gave those people the sort of middle finger and said, no, we're going to screw with the story, which I don't actually mind. I think that they kind of did some interesting things with the story, but it doesn't really know what it wants to do. So that kind of let that down a bit for me. And the gameplay is not as good as it could be, because it's not turn-based anymore, but it's also some kind of like hybrid real-time battle system, and it doesn't quite work as well as it could do, in my opinion.
Right.
But it was a really good game. But again, it's one of those where I completely forgot that came out this year when I was thinking about Game of the Year contenders.
It seemed to come out and get like an awful lot of good reviews and whatnot, and then just kind of disappear from consciousness.
Yeah, it did, which is odd, considering that people have been wanting a remake of it for like 10 years.
I think it's just simply the fact that so many games come out now compared to before.
Yeah.
And so many highly anticipated / regarded games. There's always a AAA game coming out around the corner, and people are really backing indie games more again now. Like they used to for a long time. Indie games were kind of put aside by a lot of people, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, indie games can actually be a lot better than some of the bigger games, simply because they tend to innovate in different ways in the way stories are told, or in story, or in gameplay, compared to a lot of I think a lot of the bigger games follow indie games with ideas and stuff after the indie games have proven that it's viable to do.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
this is true.
It shouldn't be indies really. It should be, not that it should be. But you think the people with the most money and the least to lose should be the ones trying to strive to do something new.
Well, it's like any industry, isn't it? With the indie, independent movies and stuff like that, it's easier to take a risk, I guess, when it comes back to the cyberpunk thing, doesn't it? It's all about investors and getting the return. Yeah. You can't take risks if you want to make the biggest amount of money back and all that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's it.
But it's like Matt's saying in the chat, though. Yeah, I think part of the reason why the Final Fantasy VII remake didn't necessarily get as much attention or long-term hype is that it is episodic. This is only part of the game, and also it's probably, for me, it was shorter than I thought it was going to be, because they haven't obviously far from remade the whole game. It's probably only about 5 or 10% of the original game that's been remade so far.
Really?
Yeah, it's the opening. So they've expanded it. So, but basically, the opening of the original game is you're in this one city, Midgar, and that really is it's probably about half of the first disc. So it's a good chunk of the game, but there's a heck of a lot. Like, you don't even get to the world map until you leave that city in the original game.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, there's a heck of a lot of stuff after that. So there's a lot more to come. And given how long it took them to do this,
but by the time they finish all the parts, half the people who wanted to play it will be dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Or won't want to play it anymore, because a lot of people kind of did throw their toys out of the pram, because like I said, they wanted a sort of shot-for-shot remake, but with nicer graphics.
Yeah, I can understand people wanting that. I can understand why people don't.
Yeah, but I was just saying, like, by the time you get to the end of this sort of remake part 1, it is literally, the storyline is basically the people making this game saying to the people playing this game, we are doing something different. That is pretty much what the story says. Spoilers for anyone. But,
that's fair enough.
They very much kind of put a marker down. I think it even says, like, there's like a bit of text appears on the screen right at the end, and it says like the unknown journey begins, kind of thing. It's basically saying we're doing something different, which I guess a lot of people who that's not what they were after have probably been turned off by.
Yeah, which is fair enough if that's not what you want, but then in a way you should go into it, give it a try in the sense of go into it open-minded.
Yeah,
Sorry,
It'd be
mate.
quite funny if they teased all of that and then had it play out exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Some of the events just happen a little bit later in the game to
Yeah.
throw people off. That'd be brilliant,
troll
actually. I'd
everyone.
love it. Even though I don't
Oh wait,
care.
it is the same.
One thing I was actually going to ask you to, both of you, but when we were talking about achievements and stuff, when we mentioned DLC completions, is I was going to say to you, are any of you like me in that you'll play a game and thoroughly enjoy it, but the DLC then comes out 6 months later, then another DLC comes out 6 months after that? I'm the kind of person who's, after I've played the game, I've moved on to other games, and then I don't really go back to do the DLCs. Whereas if I get a game and all the DLCs out, I'll tend to play the game and the DLCs because I'm playing it in one go.
It depends on the game for me.
Like, I loved Mass Effect 2. I've not done the DLC for Mass Effect 2.
I've still yet to play a Mass Effect.
Ugh, you disgust me.
I'd say you're not missing much, personally, but
I think the Mass Effect games 1, 2, and 3 are really good. 1 is really good. 2 is really good. 3 is really good, but they kind of ruin it a lot at the end. Like, the game is good. It's just the end of it just ruins
that was the
it.
big
Like,
problem people had, wasn't it? Yeah.
The issue with Mass Effect 3, I know we kind of diverged again, but the issue with Mass Effect 3 is it seemed to be that because of the ending, everyone hated everything about the game, but the game was fine except for the ending. It made like the whole end kind of pointless, and the stuff that happened at the end could have been done in the first game, so none of 2 or 3 needed to happen. But a lot of the stuff, like, a lot of people complained, oh yeah, it didn't tie up anything. It didn't tie up everything, no, admittedly. But a lot of the side characters from in 2 that live in 3, you do tie up their endings and stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of DLC, I mean, yeah, it varies a lot for me. If it's given the amount of time it takes to play games these days, and you know, I don't play as many, so it's unless I really, really liked something. If I played kind of the base game on release and then the DLC doesn't come out for 6-9 months, it's unusual for me to go back and play the DLC. Like I say, unless it's something I really, really was into. But if I've, a lot of the time, again, because I'm not playing as many games, by the time I get to something, the sort of, Game of the Year edition is out that includes all the DLC. So in those cases, I'll play through everything. Because an example of this is last year, one of my favorite games last year was, can't remember which name it is now, Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds.
Yeah. But that year, so that was like it was a sort of first-person RPG type thing from Obsidian.
Outer Worlds, yeah. Was that last for this year?
Sorry?
Was that last year or beginning of this year?
I think it was about October last year. But yeah, so I played that. I really enjoyed it. But the DLC only came out a few weeks ago, or kind of, I think maybe September this year. But that's it was the best part of a year afterwards. And I'll hopefully go back to it because, like I said, I really enjoyed the game. But it's too late. I've moved on. So yeah, I think there's definitely a sweet spot in terms of when you can get the DLC out before certainly I lose interest.
Yeah, for me it's more of a I would rather, in a way, if there's no DLC plan for a game, then like I'm happy picking it up at the start and getting it. But if I know there's DLC with a season pass, like sometimes I'll buy the game thinking, yeah, I'm gonna play this, and I don't go back to it. So for me, a Game of the Year edition is the perfect way because I've got all the stuff. I'll play it all in one go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I won't bother.
Plus, yeah, with the again going back to Cyberbug 2077, by the time the Game of the Year edition comes out, it's usually the point where the game actually works.
Yeah.
So, you know that not only have you got all the content, but actually they've probably fixed any of the issues with it.
Yeah. They've had to, because otherwise no one's going to play this shit. Yeah.
That's a fair point as well, though.
Yeah.
I'm a weird one with DLC. Like, if I really like a game, I'll wait and I'll download it and I'll play it. But I very rarely find myself liking a game enough to do it. So usually I'll only play it if it, as you say, it comes in a Game of the Year. I think like the latest Dead Rising 4 I keep coming back to, but I'm going through the DLC on that because it's all there, and I got it all, like the whole package for £6 or something. Whereas I probably wouldn't have bothered otherwise. But yeah, basically I'm with you. It's the TLDR of that.
Yeah, I'm just, I thought I'd ask because obviously some people are like, yeah, I'll go straight back to game, but then for me it's more I need to be playing it in one fell swoop. Ubelian just said, considering how DLC is, or at least used to rely on the player's mastery over the game's mechanics, having it released so late is quite bad.
Yeah, it's a fair point. If games where you've not played it for months and then you come back to it to play some new content, and the new content expects you to remember exactly how to play it and to be, on top form, is not the greatest model, really, is it?
Yeah.
No, the one thing I really liked about Doom Eternal's DLC is that it immediately gave you all of your skills available, and like it throws you back in, but it throws you back in the same way that Doom does.
Yeah.
Where you kind of expect it, if that makes sense. So I thought that was really well done DLC in that respect. And
also, I think that it was relatively quick to come out, or at least it felt like it. Maybe it was about 6 months in the end. It's hard to tell with this year of strangeness, but it didn't feel like it took too long to come out.
It was March to October.
Okay, yeah. So that is quite long. But yeah.
Just don't buy games at launch. Simple. No, that is one good thing about not buying stuff at launch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Can't really say no, unless of course you're the kind of person who really wants a game right now.
Yeah, there is that. I was going to say, because in terms of like one game, fairly recently, talking about Arcane earlier, we're talking about Deathloop. So like this Dishonored games, I think the DLC. Well, the second one didn't have DLC. They kind of released a sort of DLC spin-off thing. But yeah, they had there was add-ons for that, which came out a few months later. But games like that, where I know I really like it, but it's not hugely popular with everyone else. So it's kind of one of those where I want them to keep making these games, so I will buy that on launch, and I will buy the DLC for it. So situations like that, I don't mind supporting someone who's doing something a bit more niche, perhaps.
Yeah.
But then a big budget kind of like games that everyone's buying. Then I'll just wait for the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. It makes sense. It does make sense. You can't, like I said, it makes perfect sense. At the end, they wanted to support something, especially from a smaller studio, smaller group of people, or a small company or something. Obviously, the initial sales will help, especially if they plan on doing something further down the line. But if they obviously don't have the money to do it, it's going to be harder for that to happen. So I can get behind that myself. Perfectly reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do we need to ask you, Pedz, now what your game of the year?
I'm looking back through my streams because I haven't really played much offline apart from Control, which came out last year, and I only played that recently. But looking through my stuff, I played let's see, Outer Worlds I started this year, which I didn't finish. Paw Patrol on a Roll I think I did at some point, which was crap. Golf Story came out a long time ago. Wario Land came out a long time ago. Night in the Woods. Sonic Lost World. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot did come out this year. So that's one game I've played from this year at least.
Wins by default.
Indivisible, did that come out this year?
I don't know, actually.
I think it did, yeah. I think it did. So you got Indivisible, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot,
According to Wikipedia, Indivisible came out October 2019.
Ah, well, there you go. I think Kakarot came out in January this year. So I think I played it on launch day. And the other game was The Wizard and the Slug, which came out, let's see. Last month, I actually had a copy of the game before it came out. And because I'm a massive influence. Yeah. So they are the two games I played from this year that I can think of is The Wizard and the Slug and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and both games are really good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z sees you play through the Dragon Ball Z story as, you know, it's called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but you play as all the many different characters. Mainly Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta. The one thing about it is like it's kind of open world-ish. It's in the sense of there's big open areas, but you transition to others. You don't just fly around the world. Kind of lords into the next another area if you needed to. Combat in there is really good. Though I do prefer the Budokai style games, the more Street Fighter-esque kind of fighting Dragon Ball Z games. Story is the Dragon Ball Z story. Not much to say on that. And it's just generally a good game to play. It's enjoyable, and getting around is fun. Just flying around the world is fun. It's cool. The other game is The Wizard and the Slug. I actually did a review for that after I finished. I did with Dragon Ball Z as well. I did 2 reviews for the Dragon Ball Z game. One of them was just a piss take where it's like, hey, this is my review. And then for like a minute, I'm just going, ah! Taking the piss because of the show where there's like one episode is someone fucking just going, ah! But, my voice went funny. Wizard and the Slug is an indie game. I'm trying to think. Can't remember much about like the person who made it. Silkworm, I think it is. It's like a guy. I'm not sure where they're from. I think they're like Swedish or something. Don't quote me on that. It's been like I've slept several times since I played the game. Basically, you play as a slug through the game. Literally, right. You are a slug, and it's kind of like a 2D action platformer. There are too many games. Like I have got a massive list of games and stuff. It's just I'm so far behind on everything. And to be honest, I have played more games because I'm not on my YouTube channel. I'm on the GRcade one. I'm looking up my list of stuff that's visible. Like Streets of Rage 4 is not visible. I played that this year. I played through it to completion. But so The Wizard and the Slug is really good. You literally are a slug. You go around, you get about by like obviously jumping and stuff. You also get the ability to dash and things. This is a slug now, a dashing, jumping slug. Also, you fire at things with your like mass. So like as you shoot, you get smaller, and you can shoot twice, I think, before you become the smallest you can be. And when you're at your smallest, that's when you can be hurt.
Right.
So you've basically got decide on when to fire at things while also trying not to get hurt. Because obviously if you're shooting at something and then obviously the projectile's on this way at you, and then you're at your smallest, you're going to get hurt and actually take damage. And you only have 2 hits before you die when you're small. When you hit big, if you get hit, you become small. So 4 hits will be the total of hit small, big, hit small, dead. But it's really good. It's genuinely funny as well. There's 3 different endings. I had 2 of them. I think one of them must happen from not having one of the items I collected, because there's a couple of collectibles. And after you finish, there's more. Yeah, it's just genuinely good. In the sense of there's going to be more. The next one is like the wizard and something else, not the slug. But I really enjoy playing through it, surprisingly. I literally knew nothing about it. It's just where I'm on a site for keys. You can like apply for keys and stuff. Just like the developer or the publisher randomly just like, would you like to try this game? And I was like, yeah, right.
Give it a go.
I'll give it a try. And I was pleasantly surprised. I genuinely enjoyed it. Like I say, it's not very long. It's quite a short game, and it's like I said, genuinely good gameplay.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's funny. One of the characters I came up against was like this cat, and it was saying like these not weird things, but like silly kind of meme-ish, like otaku things and stuff. And it's like, yes, I live in Japan, and like obviously the slug you don't speak, and he said, "What's that? Japan? Where's Japan? I don't know. I just made it up. It's where I live." So it's like Japan doesn't exist today, but the guy made it up. And like I think every character you come across, you can have them help you. You can also fight them. Like I just end up talking to them, and they like join me. But I think you can fight them, and then they'll join you for like a small, short section of a level. And there's one character you see repeatedly through the game, and it's a banana, and he's funny. Just because. But yeah, I genuinely think it's well worth playing. It's only I think it's quite cheap as well, like so. But I really enjoyed that game. It was fun.
Good.
Yeah, it does. Sounds really interesting.
It is interesting. How many games do you get to play as a slug?
Exactly.
There's actually quite an interesting story stuff behind it as well. But I won't go into that. And hopefully the sequel will continue to improve upon what the first game does. Because like I said, enjoyed many aspects of it. Certain things could be improved. I said that in my review, but since I actually played it, there's been stuff that's been added. Like I think there's like a boss rush mode and various other stuff added to the game. So
cool.
Yeah, worth it. And other than Streets of Rage 4. Minecraft Dungeons I've played some of. I think that came out this year. I haven't played a lot of it. That seems alright. Seems kind of like a Diablo light. Like very light. Again, at Streets of Rage 4. Really good game. Genuinely really good game. But I do prefer a game that came out last year. Called River City Girls. Because I prefer the versatility. It's more versatile.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree. I think both of them are very close, and Streets of Rage for me is closer to the heart, so to speak. But I can look past the nostalgia and merit the games on their rate the games on their merits better than Jenuall can.
Whatever.
Yeah, so But other than that, I can't really think of it. Like I played Dark Souls, but again, that's ancient. Demon Souls I have, but I haven't played it yet. Which I'm on about the remaster. I played the original Demon Souls.
So you've, other than Astro's Playroom or whatever it is, what have you played on the PS5 yet then?
Astro's Playroom I finished, which that's my game of the year.
There we go.
There you go. Astro's Playroom, the free bit of software to demo the tech, is my favorite game of the year. Because it's genuinely, it's fucking, I genuinely love that. Sackboy's Big Adventure is also really fucking good. Also, I've played a bit of Bloodborne, and that's about it, really. I was planning on playing a game I got a key for like a couple of years back, and I still haven't played it yet. It's a game called North, which is supposed to be an hour long, so I was thinking of doing that. Like yesterday I was thinking of doing it, or the day before, and I just ended up not bothering to stream. I watched a show called Island, The Island, on Netflix. It's called The Island. It's like the I-land. That I watched on Netflix, and it was alright. It's basically about a lot of people that wake up on an island with no memories, and things are not what they appear to be. It's like Lost, but it doesn't go shit. Because there's only one season, and Lost was really good for the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But the ending could end the show, but it could also not end the show, in the sense of like story stuff is dealt with, but it doesn't mean that other stuff can't happen. Yeah, it's weird.
Gotta leave it open.
I've just noticed that it's 10 past midnight.
Is that all?
Oh,
Yeah.
and it is.
We'll end now. We'll end in a minute, is there? Should we end?
Yeah, I need to shoot off in a second.
Woohoo.
I was going to say, yeah. So is that officially your game of the year then, Astro or
Astrobot or Sackboy? I'm going to say Astrobot because I finished it, but Sackboy may take over because I've thoroughly enjoyed my time on that. It's been genuinely great fun. I know a lot of people had issues with Little Big Planet with our controls and stuff, but it's not like that in Sackboy's Big Adventures. Obviously a completely different game. It just has Sackboy in it, and it still has all the like craft stuff for the world built for the built world. So you still have like kind of a lot of nice aesthetic stuff. But yeah, it's definitely worth, if you have the game. So if you don't have the game, get the game. if you can play it. It's genuinely good.
Cool.
Excellent.
There you go. But yeah, I think it is time to end now, as it is 12:15 almost. We have been live for 3 hours and 26 minutes. It's a longer one, but it would have been even longer if more people turned up, because I would have been adding quizzes in and everything. I was going to make it a fun party time, and everyone who got a question wrong would have to have a shot of tequila. But except for me, because I'd be asking the question, so I don't need to. And I don't drink.
I think I could handle a tequila shot quiz at this stage of my life.
No, this is it. Too old.
One shot, passes out.
Very much.
Quick podcast.
But we had I was in China with a mate who lives there, and there's this game they've got over there called Liar's Dice, and he made me play it, but rigged it so that I had to take a tequila shot every time I lost, and because I didn't know how to play it, I lost every fucking round, and I've never truly been able to drink it properly again after that.
Just ruin it for you.
It's a bad night and a bad morning.
I bet. Yeah, so with that little tale from Cora there, well,
Straight into
story.
a life.
Yeah.
Terrible life.
I think we should end, because again, it's getting quite late. Obviously, we probably aren't going to. I can't see it happening because it's too close to Christmas now. The next one will obviously be after the new year. Hopefully, we can get a couple of people in, probably to talk about. I assume it will just be a look into the future of next year and beyond, next gen, this gen even. We don't need to look at next gen. We know Peter Crisp.
Next gen.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been fun. You never know. Maybe next time we can get it going for a load. No, I'm not playing Bloodborne, Grum. Sod off.
Why don't you play a bit of Bloodborne?
Because it's on my stream and I've got to swap stuff around. And it take longer to do that. So yeah, hopefully we can get a couple more of us, and hopefully do something a bit different for the next one with maybe we could do the quizzes and stuff. That'd be quite fun, I think. But I don't know if that'd happen. Also, it wouldn't really be a podcast, it'd be more of a game show with your host, Jeff Yard. Yeah, we get Jeff to host. No, he won't, because I'm lazy. But yeah, I'm tired now, I think. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It has been a pleasure having you all here for the 36th episode of the Twitchcast. It's probably more than that, but I think with like this announcement stuff and E3, I think I didn't count them in the numbers. So there you go. I hope both Jenuall and Cora have had a good time here.
Absolutely.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, thanks guys for jumping on. It's been great having you. Nice catching up actually, as it's been a while. Hopefully you'll be around for the new year for the next one. and we can talk about how crap Christmas was for everyone.
Hooray!
Yep.
Joyous stream.
But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. We will be back again soon. And one last plug for the forum before we end. For those who are new, please go and check out GRcade. That is grcade.co.uk. Also, if you want to check out GRcade on Twitter, it's at GRcade. And yeah, we will see you again soon. Bye bye, everyone. Take care.
Night, night, all.
Cheers.